Hey guys, tonight we're diving into Europe's first perfume lab, where Bronze Age mixologists turned flowers into liquid gold. Picture this: you're standing on a wind-whipped cliff in Crete, 3,600 years before influencer culture. Salt stings your lips as priestesses crush irises with volcanic stones, their mortar and pestle singing like a rusty xylophone. Spoiler alert, you probably won't survive their quality control tests. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I want to know who's watching from places that still have olive groves. Now dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum. And let's ease into tonight's journey together. Your sandals slip on limestone, steps slick with centuries of libations. Terracotta jugs line the shrine's edge, each shaped like a woman's hips. Historians confirmed these were Europe's first standardized measurement tools, the original mother jar archetype. You catch a whiff of something musky sweet. Imagine honey left in a cedar box under the summer sun. Turns out that's crocus pollen, 99 pounds of hand-plucked stamens steeping in sesame oil. A priestess glides past, her linen wrap stained purple from Murex dye experiments gone wrong. She's grinding something blue in a seashell mortar, the original Pinterest fail. You lean closer, bad move. That's not eyeshadow, it's powdered lapis lazuli mixed with donkey milk, the Minoan equivalent of glitter highlighter. Workers haul amphorae up the cliff using ropes braided from human hair, apparently Crete's first recycling program. One kid trips, his clay vessel shatters against basalt. The scent of fermented figs punches you in the sinuses. Two guards drag him away. His sandalwood body oil leaves a guilt-scented trail. You find a workbench, still warm from vanished hands, fingerprints pressed into wax tablets. The scribbles aren't words, they're pictograms of flowers with numbers. Mainstream academia calls it inventory logs. Quirky theorists insist it's the world's first emoji playlist. Rose equals love song. Lily equals breakup anthem. A draft carries voices from the boiling room. You peek through a crack, 8 women chant over copper cauldrons. Their recipe: roast quince seeds, strain through goat wool, add rainwater collected during thunderstorms. Modern perfumers tried skipping the stormwater step, got something smelling like wet dog, and regret. Your elbow knocks over an alabaster vial. Oops. Thick liquid oozes, part honey, part something unidentifiable. Lick it. Don't. That's henna resin mixed with lead carbonate, the Minoan answer to lip plumper. Historians still argue whether these beauty oils caused more marriages or mercury poisoning. Sunlight hits a fresco of bull leapers mid-flip, their armpits suspiciously sparkly. Turns out athletes wore pine resin deodorant flecked with pyrite. The bigger the glitter, the higher the score. You spot a recipe scratched into plaster. Instructions for rose petal lotion, with 7 stirs clockwise, 3 counter. Reverse engineering proved it prevents razor burn better than your overpriced shaving cream. Dusk falls, torchlight flickers across a stone ledger. Columns list oils traded for Egyptian papyrus and Sardinian obsidian. One entry reads, 2 jugs lily oil equals 1 marital blessing. Archaeologists found matching records in Thebes, proving scent diplomacy predates currency. Your sandal snags a drainage ditch smells like a citrus grove's graveyard. This is where they dumped failed experiments, lemons pickled in brine, moldy bergamot rinds. Workers called it the pool of second chances. Failed perfumes became floor cleaners or bride price bargaining chips. A slave girl offers you a clay cup, steam rises in lazy spirals. It's not tea, it's myrtle-infused seawater for rinsing scent samples off hands. You gag politely. She smirks. Tourists always make that face. The moon hits a grinding stone littered with poppy pods. Late-night shifts here required. Focus enhancers. Opium-laced date wine sipped through hollow reeds. Workers signed liability waivers in cuneiform. Tablet number 12B clearly says, blame KH-num if vision turns purple. As you leave, a guard stops you, palms outstretched. Customs check. Turns out they track scent smugglers by rubbing travelers' hands on blotting papyrus. Yours smells of stolen iris resin and poor life choices. He confiscates your belt pouch. Where'd you even get those saffron threads? Waves crash as you descend, the factory's torchlight shrinking behind you. Your tunic reeks of extinct flowers and bad decisions. Somewhere inland, a dandelion shivers in a moonlit field. It has no idea what's coming. You follow cedar-scented air through vaulted archways, each step deepening the honeyed stillness. Sunlight slants through shelves, stacked with saffron-wrapped jars. Their hexagonal clay bodies echoing beehives, perfected over millennia. Your fingers brush linen shrouds, dusted with crocus pollen. The same golden threads traded to Egypt for lapis lazuli and myrrh. Ahead, dark-haired workers move in endless loops, bare feet smoothing stone-worn concave. Their stone presses groan under flower mounds, petal pulp dripping into troughs, veined with copper residue. One pauses to wipe sweat with violet-dyed cloth, the pigment's metallic tang cutting through bergamot steam. You catch fragments of their harvest chants, the same rhythmic pulse later found in linear B, tax records from Pylos. Watch how they layer rosehip skins between pumice slabs, each pressing, timed to solar noon. The air thrums with forgotten physics, stone transmitting geothermal heat at precise 42 degrees C through capillary channels. Modern perfumers would kill for this setup. No stainless steel vats or synthetic thermostats, just volcanic rock and the weight of centuries. Near the cooling racks, a wall painting shimmers. Bull leapers mid-somersault hold sensors instead of weapons, smoke curving like their airborne bodies. Scholars still argue whether the spirals below them map distillation phases, or eclipse predictions. Your nose knows better. The lingering ash resin musk suggests both ritual and recipe. You kneel beside a cracked amphora, its beeswax seal intact. Inside, cedar oil brewed for 17 lunar cycles swims with preserved narcissus stamens. Instagram influencers would call it the ultimate age-defying serum. But these perfumers buried such jars beneath palace foundations, protection against earthquakes, bribes for underworld gods. The dirt under your nails holds no answers. A clay tablet nearby lists rations, 30 jars of lily oil equal 1 bronze ingot. Workers got paid in scented wax, their wages literally evaporating, if unused by full moons. Try explaining that to your Uber driver during a Cretan summer. Watch closely, those circular paths aren't random. Thermal imaging shows heat patterns mirroring the petal's natural oils, clockwise rotations, coaxing out molecules modern extractors vaporize. One worker hums while adjusting her grip, a melody matching vibrational frequencies that stabilize volatile compounds. Scientists still haven't replicated the acoustic sweet spot, though MIT's latest terracotta printer comes close. You pocket a crumbled stamen, illegal but irresistible. 3 steps later, your fingers tingle. Turns out Minoan flora bioengineered mercury traces into antifungal agents. That's your 3rd UNESCO violation this week. And the best hand moisturizer you've ever stolen. Near the exit, a child-sized fingerprint mars a drying rack. Carbon dated to 1627 BCE, the same year Thera erupted. Historians still debate whether the tiny smudge belongs to an apprentice or a royal child. Press your thumb against its shadow, the echo of sticky fingers immortalized alongside kings. The last jar pulses with something darker, burnt myrrh undercutting honeysuckle. Priests called it the breath of Minos, a royal unguent forbidden outside initiation rites. Your guide warned you not to open it. You twist the lid anyway, because existential dread pairs beautifully with extinct florals. Word count: 594 total. 594, 1500. 4. Saffron-robed attendants glare from a mural, their sensors leaking smoke that coils into linear A glyphs. 1 holds a blade to her palm, spilling blood into an offering bowl. The captions crumbled millennia ago, but your smartwatch spikes hemoglobin levels in the air. Turns out ritual aromas involved actual iron. A stack of ledger tablets reveals palace intrigue. On a lunation 7 entry, a scribe scrawled about missing lilies. The suspect, a perfumer named Crete with henna-stained knuckles. Her punishment, forced to create a scent masking donkey sweat for envoys. Crowd-funded historians are currently arguing whether that counts as ancient cryptofeminism or just Bronze Age HR being dicks. You find a corroded bronze whistle shaped like a bull's head. Blow through it, no sound. Archaeocaustic teams reconstructed its true pitch last year, a frequency only detectable by Nile crocodiles. Why Minoans needed to summon reptiles from 800 kilometers away. Your tour guide mutters something about alternative pest control while backing away slowly. The workers' sandal prints lead to a trapdoor hidden under woven reeds. Below, a spring-fed pool reflects constellations not visible for 36 centuries. Dive in the waters heavy with dissolved ambergris and regrets. Your waterproof flashlight glints off something white at the bottom. A sheep's skull grins up, its hollowed cranium cradling obsidian vials. They rattle with something viscous and blue. Lab analysis pending, but your 7th grade chemistry teacher's ghost whispers, pH 8.6, in your left ear. The water grows warmer. Or is that just the ghost of King Minos judging your life choices? Surfacing, you notice the real magic. Drops clinging to your skin carry microscopic pollen, each grain engineered with heat-resistant membranes. Geneticists found identical structures in drought-resistant GMOs patented last Tuesday. Someone's lawyers are gonna have a field day with this. Your stolen stamen starts vibrating. Pull it out. A bioluminescent fungus now coats its tip. The same glow appears in frescoes of underworld gatekeepers. Coincidence? Probably, but maybe pack antihistamines before descending further. Word count, 430 total, 1024, 1500. Mud squelches underfoot as you reach the famed lily throne, its carved petals stained with ancient spillage. Duck beneath the seat teenage scribes once doodled here. Charcoal sketches show perfumers with exaggerated noses and a donkey playing a lyre. The earliest recorded dick joke, or a sacred caricature, your snort echoes through 3.5 millennia of comedy. A hidden compartment yields algae-painted scrolls. Unroll them and meet the baiancé of Minoan perfumery. Priestess Naxomer's formulas required moonlight-collected dew, and the tears of a cypress merchant betrayed. Her signature scent, allegedly, caused a Mycenaean warlord to surrender after one whiff, though his treaty's font size suggests allergies rather than awe. Nearby, charred remnants of scent trials. Recipes scratched onto turtle shells. 3 parts storm-wrecked seagrass, 1 part eclipse viewer's sweat, unspecified gender, 7 drops of a mother's first milk. After burying a son, ethics boards hadn't been invented yet. A fresco catches you, labyrinth walls pulsing like arteries. Follow the painted path, and you'll reach a brazier smoking with something minty. The Ministry of Culture will bill you for touching it, so obviously you lean in. Modern nose meets ancient alkaloids. Peppermint, cut with fermented figs, and something alarmingly fecal. Textual scholars have a term for this: aroma ambushing, scent narratives designed to trigger memory flashes. Yours involve a canceled Tinder date and a mislabeled kombucha. The fumes trigger synesthesia. Bull leapers now smell like burnt caramel stone jars. Vibrate C-sharp, Your left molar throbs in time to harvest drums. This either unlocks ancestral wisdom or means you've inhaled enough myrrh to kill a Mycenaean. Before passing out, you spot the ultimate prize. An intact Knossos ring, its tiny cups still holding resin droplets. Each represents a conquered land's signature scent. Crete didn't just demand tribute in gold, they stole olfactory identities. The lapith rose, cyclotic seaweed, even Trojan, thunderstorm dust. Cultural appropriation never smelled so strategic. Your vision blurs at the edges. Bull leapers twist into DNA helices. The lily throne sprouts roots. History isn't a line, it's a perfume. Top notes lies, middle notes violence, base notes the whispers of workers whose names we'll never know. You sink into the stoned embrace of a 4,000-year-old contact high, while somewhere a volcano prepares its encore. Salt stings your lips as you breach the wreck's depth, your dive light skimming a seabed littered with amphorae. They sprawl like drunken sentinels, their beeswax seals swollen, but intact after 8 centuries underwater. One tilts toward you, its curved belly cradling shadows darker than the abyss. You know better than to touch, but since when has that stopped anyone? The glaze feels warmer than the water, as if the clay still simmers from some Bronze Age kiln. Peer closer, tiny barnacles form constellations, matching the vessel's last logged coordinates. Marine archaeologists mapped this site using Homer's star charts. Turns out the Odyssey makes a decent nautical GPS. Your air tank hisses a warning, but then you spot it. A jar half buried in silt, its surface etched with dolphin glyphs. Every textbook claims these signify trade routes, yet your gut whispers decoy. Wipe away the muck. The dolphin's eyes bulge grotesquely. Lab scans last week proved their pupils are minuscule air pockets, trapping surface molecules from the day this ship sank. Surface, your team's zodiac bobs under storm gray skies. Dr. Pavlakis sloshes seawater from an amphora's mouth. His excited Greek mutters lost to the wind. The wax seal fractures, and suddenly the air smells of figs split by summer heat, undercurrent of bitter almonds, sharp enough to punch through salt rot. Tourist shops sell ancient Crete air fresheners. Pavlakis growls, holding the jar like a sacred heart. This would melt their polyester gods. Back in the lab, spectrometers dissect molecules frozen in resinous amber. The chromatograph spikes wildly, revealing compounds not logged since Thera's eruption. Some match Egyptian herbal manuals, others align with pollen from a dog's stomach found in Mycenae. Your coffee cup trembles as UV light hits the sample. 17 spectral bands mirroring the Pleiades alignment from 1620 BCE. A grad student sneezes, triggering containment protocols. That's not pollen, Pavlakis coughs, pointing at the security footage, now playing in reverse. The sample's airborne particles swirl counterclockwise, defying ventilation currents. Scholars still argue whether Minoan's weaponized aerodynamics, or if the lab's AC just sucks. Midnight in the archives, you lean over a worm-eaten captain's log. His entry for lunation, 23, demanded payment in lily oils, received cursed jars instead. Crew's dreams smell of rotting honey. Flip the page. A pressed hydria flower falls out. DNA sequencing tomorrow. But you swear its veined petals pulse like carotid arteries. Down in specimen Bay 7, the reconstructed scent awaits. Modern perfumers call it minus revenge. A nasal avalanche of fermented dates and molten sulfur. Instagram influencers would monetize this as traumacore aromatherapy. Pray no one finds the TikTok footage of you retching into a linear B transcription. The real magic hits at 3 a.m. Fluorescent lights buzz. The scent's base notes emerge. Not fig or almond, but a third element rehydrating from centuries of dormancy. Gas chromatography, mass spectrometry, bleeps frantically, its screen flashing, unknown compound 82M. Pavlakis freezes, recognizing the code. You're holding it together, barely, when the containment chamber implodes. Glass shards glitter under emergency strobes, the scent now coating every surface like liquid obsidian. It crawls up your throat, half midnight jasmine, half sailor's funeral pyre. OSHA forbids licking lab equipment, but your tongue swipes a droplet from shattered glass. Taste receptors explode, not flavors, but memories. A widow's hands crushing laurel leaves, the coppery tang of a grudge offering. Doric dialect jokes about incontinent dolphins. Your hippocampus short circuits, flashing images of a port official taking bribes in scented wax. Pavlakis smashes the fire alarm, nitrogen vents blast the room. You collapse against a tool cart, fingernails scraping at a graffiti-covered wall. Undergrads had doodled cartoon minotaurs here. Now their Sharpie ink bubbles into perfumed hieroglyphs. The phrase, kappa lambda epsilon phi tau eta sigma, mu epsilon rho omicron upsilon, materializes, thief of unguents, as security cameras auto-delete the footage. Backup samples lead nowhere, evaporated during transport, or swapped with sand. The final blow comes via email, an anonymous donor's lawsuit claiming cultural patrimony. Attachments include a linear A contract clause about liquid curses escaping through Wi-Fi. You'd laugh if your sweat didn't still reek of ceremonial myrrh. Dawn finds you at the docks, staring at foam-flecked waves. A fishing boat's net drags up pottery shards, their edges stained blue. Geneticists will spend years debating whether that's Minoan dye or cephalopod ink. You pocket a fragment anyway, its curve fitting your palm like a lover's jawbone. The sea whispers of cargo holds still undiscovered, amphorae rolling gently in blackness, their fragrance, prisons waiting to ambush the sun. Your next dive's scheduled for Thursday. Some lessons take lifetimes to learn, and you've always been a slow student. Your fingertips hover above the mass spectrometer, its screen flickering with chemical constellations. 9 spectral peaks pulse in unison, each matching pollen strains declared extinct after Thera's eruption. The machine's hum syncs with your headache nature's way of reminding you peer-reviewed miracles require triple espresso sacrifices. Libation bowls, Pavlaki's mutters, dropping another ash-encrusted relic on your desk. These clay basins once held sacred oils poured for snake goddesses. Now they're just dead flowers and student loan debt. You scrape residues with a dental pick, the scent of burnt honey and desperation rising. A grad student slides you a printout, 9 botanical names, glowing neon green. Number 4's a real bitch, she yawns. Narcissus thalassinis, an extinct sea daffodil, once pollinated by monk seals, its genome's full of marine alkaloids, the Minoan equivalent of adding pop rocks to perfume. Sunlight slants through the lab's bulletproof windows, stormproof since the incident. You drip solvent onto a crusted bowl rim, the residue dissolving into liquid gold. Gas chromatographs start singing like Byzantine choirs. Their readouts spiral into fractal patterns. Someone's phone vibrates with a tick-tock alert. The sound drowns in screaming machinery. Pavlakis throws a breaker. Silence falls like a sacrificial veil. You've heard of terroir in wine, he rasps, holding a vial to the light. This is terror in perfume. The reconstructed scent swirls, bergamot's citrus bite, wrestling sea, daffodils, aquatic musk. It's less fragrance than botanical warfare. Your sinuses may never forgive you. Historians still argue whether these flowers died with Thera's eruption or were deliberately annihilated to protect royal scent monopolies. You lean closer, inhaling molecules untouched since Minoan priests wore squid ink eyeliner. Memories hijack your cortex. A tanner's calloused, hands straining mastica resin, laughter echoing through palace olive presses. The lab door slams. A botanist storms in waving Herodotus's histories. Turns out book 4 mentions violet potted beans, traded for Cretan oils. DNA confirms they're mutated hyacinths. Your Instagram feed floods with conspiracy theorists claiming Atlantis perfumes induce past life regressions. You resist commenting, mostly. Midnight oil lamps reveal the final piece, a beeswax tablet bearing spiral glyphs. Modern perfumers translated it as a recipe, until you notice the symbols align with your spectrometer's peaks. Rotated under UV, the glyphs warp into lunar phase diagrams. TikTok's algorithm blesses your discovery. #Minoan, TikTok trends with dubious moon cycle perfume challenge videos. The scent's heart note emerges at dawn, an accord so potent it etches glass. Hydria petals from the captain's log, now pulsing in a beaker like bioluminescent jellyfish. Apply a drop to your wrist. Your carotid artery thrums to a Bronze Age rhythm. Harvesting chants echo through your left hemisphere. Right brain insists it's just sleep deprivation. Pavlakis appears with 2 demitosses, Turkish coffee grounds swirling like sediment cores. They used geothermal vents to age oils, he says, pointing at mineral traces in the chromatograph, faster than steel vats and zero carbon footprint. You smirk. Starbucks' sustainability team would murder for that patent. By lunchtime, the scent's dry down reveals its cruelest joke: vanilla. Not the sweet Tahitian kind, but fermented wild orchid tubers found in ancient latrines. The grad student retches into a fume hood, its filtered exhaust smelling suspiciously corporate. You make a mental note: never trust the Minoans. Department heads demand replication studies. Your inbox drowns in grant proposals a lesser scientist might crack. You just adjust the mass spec settings. The machine whirs, spitting out spectral data that self-organizes into linear A glyphs. Reddit's conspiracy boards implode. R-scented aliens crashes before you can screenshot. Dusk finds you in the rooftop garden, test vials dangling from olive branches. Night blooming, jasmine mocks your efforts, its perfume smugly perfect, without 3,600 years of archaeology. Pavlakis joins you, holding a prototype perfume named -Midnight. One spritz, and the crickets fall silent. Neptune grass and wildfire pharaohs would have traded pyramids for this. You check your phone, 73 missed calls from a Swiss fragrance conglomerate. Their latest voicemail mentions olfactory intellectual property and non-disclosure agreements. The moon rises. Its silver light mirrors the spectrometer's glow. Somewhere beneath Crete, geothermal vents still whisper recipes to the rocks. You delete the messages. Wind carries salt from the harbor. Or maybe it's the sea daffodil accord eating through your lab coat. Your pulse drums a labyrinthine rhythm, left, right, left, like harvesters circling a sacred grove. The stars blur, Pleiades winking through light pollution. Tomorrow brings mass spectrometry. Tonight belongs to ghosts in the gas chromatograph. Your last coherent thought before caffeine crashes: they never told you archaeology would smell this good. Your boots echo through Knossos. Underbelly, geothermal heat rising through Cretan limestone like a baker's breath. Thermal imaging reveals branching tunnels ahead, 37 chambers coiled like a bronze octopus. Archaeologists mapped these passages for decades, until your infrared rig spotted anomalous heat signatures beneath the dirt floor. You kneel, fingertips brushing warm ceramic pipes, snaking through ash. Minoan engineers buried 3,000 coils here, channeling volcanic steam through labyrinthine ducts. Replicas prove their system extracts oil 3 times faster than stainless steel. History's most underrated HVAC flex. A grad student aims her spectrometer at a pipe junction. Its readout spikes. They mixed clay with crushed seashells, she whispers. Improves heat diffusion, still outperforms our polymers. You smirk. TikTok's Ancient Aliens crew would claim extraterrestrials donated the recipe. Sunlight bleeds through ceiling vents, cut in bull and moon patterns. Shadows dance across hexagonal tiles, marking worker stations, each worn smooth by countless sandals. Your canteen sweats in the humidity, condensation, mirroring Bronze Age laborers' brow salts. Archaeologists found their fingernail grooves in these walls, eternal reminders of union-free overtime. Pavlaki's pries open a clay valve box, blackened resins crusting its gears. "Watch this," he croaks, pouring water into a funnel-shaped conduit. Steam erupts with a cyclotic whistle. The chamber thrums like a gargantuan tea kettle. Your Apple Watch registers 122 decibels. Its noise warning flash feels judgmental. Historians still argue whether these chambers doubled as ritual sweat lodges or just smelled better than Minoan gyms. You spot carbonized juniper twigs in an offering niche, their scent clinging to scorch marks. Rehydration reveals 0. 8% myrrh content, either spiritual devotion or prehistoric OSHA violations. Your headlamp catches a mural fragment, workers dancing around steaming vats. Their loincloths flutter in painted breezes. Ethnobotanists ID the yellow pigment as fermented saffron stigmas. The vibe. Half OSHA training video, half Eurovision opening act. A jolt shakes your molars. Subterranean water hits magma-heated rocks. Bronze Age, percussion brewing at its finest. The entire complex becomes a geothermal sous vide cooker. Your stomach growls, dangerously close to ordering souvlaki through the echoes of History app. Night falls. You assemble laser thermometers on tripods. Heat maps emerge, red tendrils tracing oil extraction pathways. Each coil's curvature follows precise geometric ratios, predating Pythagoras by 12 centuries. Reddit's R geometry is sexy, already memed it caption. Minoan Riz versus your weak math game. A creak fractures the silence, secret door sliding open near a bull leaping fresco. Inside lies a vat room, untouched, since Thera's tantrum. Dried iris petals blanket the floor like lavender snow. Your boot sinks into flaked resin. The crunch mirrors Pringle's eldritch cousin. Lab results tomorrow. Tonight belongs to stolen moments with a 3 millennia-old still. You drip distilled water into its spout. The basin groans awake. Steam curls into shapes resembling dancing goddesses. Or maybe that's your 5th espresso's doing. Pavlaki's materializes with baklava phyllo flakes, mingling with dust motes. They draft-dodged climate change, he mutters, pointing at geothermal vents, still operational, carbon neutral before it was corporate jargon. You nod. Starbucks mermaid logo watches judgmentally from his recyclable cup. Dawn leaks through ceiling cracks. Your spectrograph beeps. The readout confirms it. Mineral traces in pipe walls, catalyzed oil polymerization. Modern perfumers chase this effect with synthetic catalysts, all while Knossos Tech collects lichen in peace. Department emails ping urgent requests for sustainability collabs. You ignore them, tracing spiral carvings on a valve wheel. Your fingertip halts at a groove, 16 notches, matching the sun's solstice path. Minoan QA testing meets celestial caddying. Ancient stem flexes never quit. The exit looms, stairs winding upward toward the gift shop's LED glare. You pocket a ceramic shard, its edges still sharp, as the day some apprentice dropped it. 3,000 years later, your student loans feel slightly less tragic. Sunlight sears your retinas after hours underground. The saffron fields blaze violet and gold like a bruise mid-healing. Your boots crunch across soil still terraced in perfect Fibonacci spirals, each turn tighter than a yoga instructor's ponytail. Archaeologists confirm Minoan's cultivated crocus here 3,000 years before Trader Joe's sold saffron-infused everything. You crouch, fingertips brushing purple petals thinner than papyrus. Each stigma dangles 3 fiery threads, precisely 17 millimeters long if the linear A tablets aren't exaggerating. Workers harvested these at dawn, their bronze sickles flashing in sync with Venus' final wink. Historians still argue whether those timed cuts boosted potency or just made killer Instagram sunrises. A reconstructed planting grid stretches ahead, bulbs buried in spiral clusters mirroring nautilus shells. Your GPS pings, the pattern aligns with 5 Bronze Age star maps. Sacred geometry meets farming almanac, murmurs a botanist beside you, her tweezers plucking stigmas into an obsidian dish. The air smells like honey and regret. 95,000 flowers yield 1 ounce of saffron. You spot offering pits between the rows, goat bones interlaced with sintered crocus stems. Carbon dating places them during a decades-long drought, desperate bargains for rain and rhizome fertility. 1 femur glints oddly, X-rays later reveal embedded saffron threads. Either ritualistic bling or the world's first herbal hip replacement. The field's caretaker demonstrates harvesting, calloused hands rotating petals toward Orion's belt. Counterclockwise twists preserve cell structure. He insists his technique, transcribed from a fresco showing priestesses with triple-jointed thumbs. Your attempt shreds the stigma, turning gold worth its weight in Bitcoin to compost fodder. Shade beckons beneath a reconstructed drying shed, its cedar shelves angled to catch the Meltemi winds. A grad student fanatics over UV scans, revealing erased ledger marks on the walls. They tracked each cultivar's output, she gasps, like a Bronze Age Excel spreadsheet, minus the pivot table meltdowns. You sneeze, saffron pollen tickling your septum with the vengeance of cursed pepper. The caretaker grins, handing you a clay cup of saffron chamomile tea. It tastes like liquefied tapestries and costs more per sip than your grad school ramen budget. Dust devils swirl through the fields, carrying petals into spirals that mimic the planting grids. Spectroscopy later shows those vortices boost flavonoid concentrations. Happy accidents or intentional wind magic. Your hair gains a permanent violet tint, nature's receipt for meddling with sacred agriculture. Moonrise reveals star-guided irrigation channels, their meanders matching Draco's constellation. You wade through ankle-deep water, Crete's briny tang, blending with crocus musk. A frog croaks from a cistern. Its ancestors probably witnessed priestesses arguing over irrigation schedules. The caretaker murmurs a reconstructed hymn lyrics pieced together from 37 pottery fragments. Melody coils like the planting spirals, resolving in a note that vibrates your molars. Your Apple Watch buzzes, unidentified sound detected, possible avian distress call or ancient banger. Harvest songs follow Venus, 584-day cycle. Researchers proved it using archaeoastronomy software. One verse references stardust infusion, folk tale, or forgotten fertilization technique. TikToks hash alien farmers' lobby pounces, their edits showing UFOs crop dusting Minoan fields with glitter. Your pocket buzzes, a lab tech's voice crackles through pollen static. Those star-aligned plots, she says. Soil selenium levels spike where constellations touch the earth, could have accelerated growth. You nod, then realize she can't see you. Awkwardness hangs thicker than the saffron haze. Dawn finds you replanting bulbs under the caretaker's watch, each crocus nestled at a Fibonacci coordinate. Soil clings under your nails like cinnamon sugar. Archaeology's manicure tacks. As Venus fades, you swear the threads glow faintly, mocking both your blisters and modern agribusiness. The path back smells of donkey dung and diesel, delivery trucks bringing vats to the gift shops, authentic spice station. You pocket a wilting petal, its edges crisping like papyrus scrolls. Somewhere, a Minoan ghost chuckles at your vape. The scent clings for weeks, haunting your morning omelets with whispers of goddesses and geomancers. Your sandals kick up dust where donkeys once trod their hooves, smoothing this path to glassy perfection under moonlight. Before you, crumbling clay seals stamped with octopus sigils mark what's left of a Mycenaean trade outpost. Linear B tablets nearby list inventories in meticulous strokes. 1 jar of styrax resin equals 6 Cypriot swords. To your left, a shattered amphora oozes solidified sap older than the Iliad itself. Sweat trickles down your neck as you squeeze between reconstructed storage crates, their cedar planks still faintly humming with bergamot and myrrh. Think of it as Bronze Age FedEx, mutters an archaeologist, her fingertip tracing route maps etched into lead ingots. Caravans hauled sent cargo 1,200 miles from Cretan workshops to Babylonian temples via Trojan toll booths. Security was tight. Ratty-edged receipts show checkpoint bribes paid in lilac balm and fermented honey. You kneel beside a preserved donkey skeleton, its vertebrae still lashed to a resin-coated cargo frame. The poor beast's teeth tell stories, fossilized lichen from Armenian highlands mixed with Cretan thyme pollen. Behind you, grad students argue over replica balance scales, 6 swords per amphora feels steep, one scoffs. But have you smelled Cypriot sword polish, pure corpse flower funk? A lab tech waves you toward ultraviolet scans, faded glyphs, on a sun-bleached tablet, now glowing electric blue. It's a perfumer's complaint letter, 3rd millennium BCE, Yelp review style. The Assyrian middlemen watered down our crocus oils, the scribe fumes. May Enki curse their scales and shrivel their prize bulls' loins. Historians still argue whether these disputes sparked actual wars or just really passive-aggressive gift exchanges. You pocket a resin bead illegally, its surface imprinted with the whorl of a trader's thumb. Thermoluminescence dating will later peg it to 1628 BCE, same year Thera's volcano turned afternoon to midnight. The caretaker eyes your theft, clears his throat, and launches into reconstructed haggling chants. His pitch rises and falls like Black Sea trade winds until you sheepishly return the bead. Dusk reveals the genius of Minoan logistics. Those leather straps on route maps, literal rawhide contracts stretched between cities, tightening with humidity to signal optimal travel times. A conservator demonstrates the century-old replica in her hands, curling like a living thing. Forget GPS, she laughs. This baby predicted sandstorms by how fast the knots swelled. You stumble upon a cuneiform tablet, its corners chewed by millennia of bored rodents. Translation reveals a shopping list. 12 Cretan lavender flasks, 3 Anatolian slave perfumers, 1 trained scent hound. Your guide whispers that the hound's breed still exists. Maltese terriers with noses fine enough to detect saffron adulteration. TikTok's dog de bronze trends within the hour. The air thickens, someone's burning replica styrax in a forge-sized sensor. Smoke coils into the exact spiral pattern on nearby trader seals. A materials scientist nods, her spectrometer confirming the smoke signals increased resin purity. Ancient quality control, she says. Black market dealers hated this one trick. Starlight guides you to a Trojan checkpoint replica guards. Spears festooned with scented tassels to mask body odor. One helmet still cradles petrified lavender buds, proto-air freshener for those long shifts, extorting merchants. You try on a breastplate, its cedar lining crushing your ribs like an overzealous chiropractor. Roadside shrines litter the path, clay goddesses with hollow bellies, once stuffed with precious resins. Carbonized remains show some idiots burned actual incense inside, turning deities into gigantic aroma diffusers. A laminated sign warns, please do not feed votive offerings. Relic pancreatitis is no joke. Your phone buzzes. A historian's paper pings your inbox. Cross-referencing Syrian tax records with scent ledgers proves it. Perfume constituted 30% of Minoan GDP. Comments erupt. Reddit's finance bros coin Centcoin and lose their shirts by lunch. Moonlit mudbricks expose children's fingerprints, tiny hands that packed straw into trader figurines. X-rays later show metal rods inside, an ancient cheat code to make offerings feel heavier to the gods. You whisper confession to a priestess figurine, her obsidian eyes gleaming with 36 centuries worth of side-eye. By dawn, your clothes reek of donkey sweat and juniper, Bronze Age Axe body spray. The gift shop's resin-scented candles can't mask the rotunda's true perfume. Desperation and academia's cheap, instant coffee. You splurge on Styrax-infused hand sanitizer, its burn-whispering tailies of caravans, dissolving into mirages under a Trojan moon. The scent of Styrax clings to your palms like sacred guilt, your cheap sanitizer evaporating into Minoan trade ghosts. But the real trip starts here, in this shadowed corridor lined with bull-leaping frescoes. Those acrobatic figures aren't just athletes. Their swirling loincloths hide pigments ground from nightshade berries. A conservator shines UV light. The walls bloom with hidden henbane, flowers toxic enough to drop a hippo. Lab reports pinned nearby confirm it. Residues in sensors contain datura alkaloids and a psilocybin isomer lost to modern mycology. Threshold doses, mutters a researcher, adjusting his goggles, enough to rearrange perception, not drown you in tentacle monsters. You catch a whiff of reconstructed oil, rotten walnuts, and wilted roses, with a metallic afterglow haunting your molars. Historians still argue whether these were spiritual tools or Bronze Age date-rape drugs. The linear A labels just say bull's breath. Your guide's flashlight flickers. The fresco dancers seem to twitch. One's eyes follow you with pupil-dilated accuracy that chills worse than Santorini's cellar air. They've recreated the initiation chambers, scent profile, mulched poppies, and burnt beeswax, cut with amygdala-tickling particles. Don't lick the walls, warns a janitor mopping up puddle reflections that warp too precisely. Teens keep trying. Virtual reality headsets hang nearby, drool marks from trials where users became the bull's nostrils, tasting hexagonal colors. Lab coats swear it's placebo, but security cameras catch after-hours grad students sneaking hits. In one corner, a stone bowl drips with oil blamed for souring visions in etched curses. Modern witches beg museums for scrapings. Their TikTok rituals swear it turbocharges tarot readings. Plasticoracles trends between sea shanty remixes. Your tongue tingles. Is that the sanitizer or the air? Ancient trip-sitters used honeycomb to ground initiates. You gnaw a replica chunk. Its wax glues your molars as hidden speakers play lyre tones at 11 Hz. Your spine becomes a zipper slowly undone. A fragmented scroll lists side effects. Uncontrollable laughter followed by prophetic flatulence. Scholars debate if it's medical docs or Bronze Age stand-up. You stifle giggles watching academics argue their arms jerking like fresco acrobats. Mid-leap, dusk filters through visionary state, stained glass, The floor sways in checkerboard patterns, mocking your inner ear. Someone's burning anti-nausea myrrh. Or that's the pretzel stand downstairs. A toddler points at you screaming purple. And honestly, valid. The exit stretches like taffy, pulled by helicoidal gods. Your last coherent thought sticks. Did they master ecstasy? Or trap madness in terracotta? The answer lingers where lab coats and bull horns collide, in the stench of scholarship and decay. Ash grit crunches under your boots like discarded god bones, each step releasing cinnamon whispers from Thera's pyroclastic rage. You're ankle deep in 3,600-year-old despair, or maybe volcanic mulch from the gift shop's Minoan garden blend. Tough call. A conservator's trembling tweezers lift a pumice shard. The underside reveals fingerprints pressed into juniper resin. Vanished hands mid-squeeze, their sweat crystallized with desperation or routine. The workshop's ghost lingers in suspended motion. A stone table holds crushed mint leaves, fossilized mid-scatter. Thermal scans show mineralized wood beneath your feet, shelf outlines mirroring Knossos. Better preserved cousins. Archaeologists confirmed it in 2001. Thera's eruption in 1600 BCE froze this cove in ashen amber. Gusts off the Aegean threaten your balance. Or is that the residual sway from Section 8's psychedelic rodeo? Lab techs orbit a vacuum chamber inside. An obsidian blade floats in sterile stasis. Initial reports called it a ritual tool, until someone noticed resin smudges matching linear A tablets about jar pry bars. Turns out Minoans used volcanic glass as Bronze Age Windex for scraping oil vats. Not every relic's glamorous. Your mask fogs from cough-suppressing myrrh workers, excavating the perfumer's bench trigger. Ash plumes with each brush stroke. An intern's sneeze reveals a hidden cubby, exposing lilac buds preserved like sugared violets. Their violet hue hasn't faded, only shifted into ultraviolet spectrums modern cameras reject. Pulverized petals spiral into test tubes. Genome sequencers hum with anticipation. Historians still argue whether this flora represents an extinct species or just an heirloom cultivar lost when the tsunami salt-blasted Crete's fields. You lean closer. The flowers emit a honeyed rot that bypasses your nose entirely. It tastes like silver melting on your molars. A mycologist snaps photos of speckled mold growing on the workstation. Its DNA matches spores found in Pharaoh Tutankhamun's embalming resins. Mediterranean trade routes flex their fungal reach. In the scanning bay, a CT machine dissects a sealed amphora, its beeswax plug intact despite millenniums undersea. X-rays reveal a fibrous mass inside, part kelp, part unidentified cellulose. The lab director mumbles about sacred loofahs, until an assistant IDs it as Bronze Age steel wool, pumice-backed sponges for polishing oil drips off ritual ladles. Your gloves graze a crescent-shaped stain on the perfumer's stone. Chromatography later confirms it's fermented fig and dolphin blubber. No one's eager to reconstruct that cologne, probably for waterproofing cloaks, insists a grad student avoiding eye contact. You glance at frescoes showing priests anointing sailing vessels. Suddenly, that eau de marine mammal theory holds brine. Night shift workers swore they heard terracotta clinking during full moons. Turns out temperature swings make the pumice pop like arthritic knuckles. The Haunted Perfume Workshop TikTok series has 7 million views, though comments argue whether ghost Minoans would prefer ASMR or death metal while haunting. A sudden breeze slams the lab door. Your clipboard spirals into a UV light grid, mapping erosion patterns. Frozen midair, the pages reveal something spine-chilling: perfect handprints from 3 workers, exactly matching the 3,600-year-old fingerprints in juniper resin. Coincidence? The intern hyperventilates into a Snoopy lunchbox while scientists debate statistical probability. You pocket a pumice shard. Its vesicles still trap air from the day Thera's lungs exhaled. As you exit, a reconstructed oil diffuser hums, its blend of tsunami salvaged sage and plasticine undertones smells suspiciously like your elementary school erasers. The past clings in unpredictable ways, settling into your clothes, your hair, the creases of your now sticky "I survived the Bronze Age collapse" souvenir shirt. Somewhere beneath your feet, the lilac's genetic song rewrites itself, note by raw nucleotide note, awaiting a soil bold enough to bloom it anew. Dolphin fat residue still tingles your palms as you approach the bone pits, each niche carved into volcanic tuff exhales forgotten gender norms. Workers brush dust from a warrior's ossuary. Charred oak moss clings to his clavicle like armor rust. Male scent protocols, mutters a bioarchaeologist. She swabs a rib fragment for lipid analysis. 2 chambers over, cracked alabaster jars spill melon-kissed myrtle oil across a priestess's Mycenaean silk shroud. The air feels split, musky decay here, overripe sweetness there, as if testosterone and estrogen solidified into vapor. Modern perfume counters have nothing on this Bronze Age Cretan's bottled identity itself. You crouch by a communal shrine altar. Its offering bowl stains reveal sage-infused cedarwood, a unisex blend lacking gravesite extremes. Conservationists debate whether this neutral oil bridged mortal and divine interactions, or just masked kitchen smells during temple potlucks. Lab results startle the team. Warrior oils contained ground deer antler alongside oak moss. Histology proves the antlers came from still living stags, a cruelty incongruent with Minoan pacifist reputations. The grad student beside you shudders. Imagine Elon Musk's Twitter feed, but for ancient hunting guilds. Priestess oils pack bigger surprises. Spectrometers detect minute jasmine traces despite records claiming its introduction 15 centuries later, a visiting perfumer rolls her eyes. History's just plagiarism with better PR. She inhales the myrtle blend's reconstruction. Her pupils dilate at biochemical levels, matching modern antidepressants. Maybe pastoral care, smelled like cantaloupe calm TM. The genderless shrine oil reveals its own trick, pistachio resin. Not for scent, as a preservative against Crete. Tablets nearby list, equalizing, rituals, where nobles anointed strangers, the original networking event. Archaeologists found identical oil residues in merchant districts, and oddly 5 brothels near the harbor. Historians still argue whether this was progressive inclusivity or Bronze Age marketing hustle. A conservator freezes mid-swipe. Her UV torch exposes hidden fresco layers beneath the shrine. Bull leapers of ambiguous gender glide across walls, their bodies anointed with both oak moss and melon oils. One figure's jug shows a blended formula, sage cedarwood cut with something fungal. Your guide tilts his head, third gender sanctification rites, or just bad inventory management. Night unspools across dig tents. The temperature drop resurrects a ghostly odor ballet. Warrior musk creeps left. Priestess nectar drifts right. Their collision forms an androgynous haze near your coffee cup. TikTokers film the phenomenon. Minoan gender fluidity trends by dawn. Comments range from scholarly praise to stop gaslighting MY candles. Dawn catches you comparing tomb oil residues under polarized light. Male samples fluoresce blood orange. Female ones sea green. The genderless blend stays stubbornly violet. Charts show these spectra match Minoan fresco pigments. Identity literally painted through chemistry. Forget zodiac signs, jokes a chemist. What's your mycotoxin alignment? By noon, controversy erupts. A warrior skeleton, initially labeled male, shows pregnancy marks on her pelvis. The oak moss jar at her feet now mocks decades of assumptions. Rehydrated lilac DNA from Section 9 whispers through lab speakers. Its nucleotide sequence aligns closer with the shrine blend than any gendered oil. Humidity swells. The past's categories dissolve like salt in wine. You pocket a linen scrap soaked in reconstructed cedarwood oil. It smells nothing like unisex, more like a librarian's rage after finding marginalia in permanent ink. Somewhere beneath Heraklion, drainage workers uncover a cistern filled with smashed gender-neutral amphorae, their shards spelling maybe in linear A. The perfumer from earlier spritzes herself with all 3 oils. Now I'm a walking HR seminar. As stars prick through Petri dish constellations, you realize the true scent divide. Modern noses crave binaries. Minoan's perfumed life's liminal sludge. A drone's UV scan reveals hidden workshop glyphs, 3 overlapping circles where oils once merged. Your flashlight dies mid-interpretation. Darkness leaves the choice. Reconstruct their unity or keep selling separation in prettier bottles. The lilac's genome, persistent in your pocket, mutates another nucleotide. The lilac's mutated genome warms your palm, its reassembled DNA dripping unresolved riddles into petri dishes. Morning sun stripes the lab bench, where linear A tablets grin like smug tortoises, their spiral glyphs still giggling at translation apps. Those blue nectar inscriptions had scholars chasing Aegean hyacinths for decades, until a botanist's sneeze changed everything. Watch her now. Dr. Eleni Pavlidis tosses Sardinian wild peas into a centrifuge. Anaphylaxis bonus, she coughs, waving an EpiPen. Her team matched Minoan pollen residues to these knobby legumes, not hyacinths. DNA doesn't lie, though it might fudge labels. Imagine calling a durian rosewater because you're bad at botany, mutters a grad student scrubbing pea residue from his beard. You lean over mass spectrometry results. The hyacinth, oil's chemical fingerprint mirrors, modern pea sprout extracts. Cretan frescoes gaslight us. Vivid blue murals show flowers that never existed unless your finger traces a reconstruction sketch. Those violet-tinged pods were painted from memory or imagination. Archaeologists found crushed wild pea pods in offering bowls, their indigo stains mistaken for hyacinth sap, the ultimate Bronze Age bait-and switch. Here's the kicker, wheezes Pavlidis between antihistamine gulps. Minoan peas glowed. Under UV light, reconstructed oil emits a bioluminescent sheen, courtesy of extinct soil microbes. Instagrammers would have gone viral labeling it Aphrodite's highlighter. Practical purpose, maybe. Priestesses brewing divine radiance, serums, or farmers making legumes fabulous to hike prices. Tourists outside knock over a replica amphora. Its 3D printed shards skitter across the courtyard. Perfect timing. That sound. Basically Minoan Spotify. Archaeologists found sonic similarities between smashing pottery and their ritual drumming patterns. Focus. Debate rages at the chromatograph. Why misname a common pea as hyacinth? Religious censorship. Taxonomic laziness. A visiting chef offers the sanest theory. Ever tried marketing Sardinian mud pea perfume? Hyacinths got better zing. He's not wrong. Linear A symbols for hyacinth appear on elite storage jars. P marks fishermen's lunchboxes. Dive deeper, those blue nectar oils were floor wax. Residue patterns in palace corridors suggest mopping crews anointed tiles for slip resistance and divine favor. Talk about multitasking. Workers probably whispered, "Hail the shiny-footed one," while avoiding OSHA violation puddles. The plot curdles like fermented honey. A Mycenaean contract tablet lists hyacinth oil imports during a drought. Sardinia's peas wouldn't grow in arid Crete unless you uncork a reconstruction vial. Inhale sharp vegetal greenness undercut by sea salt, the exact scent profile of irrigated crops. Ancient agronomics hid in perfume. Smart. Historians still argue whether the mislabeling was poetic license or Bronze Age catfishing. You sneak a pea pod into your pocket. It vibrates faintly. Still paranoid after 36 centuries, sunset bleeds across lab reports, fingers stained blue from faux hyacinth trials. Dr. Pevlides collapses into a pollen-free bubble tent. Her snores sync with centrifuge hums. Your phone buzzes, a tick-tock from the brothel dig site. Workers uncovered a fresco of a grinning merchant juggling peas and hyacinth blooms. Caption: Minoan influencer pitching blue nectar drop. Comments debate if it's proof of ancient meme culture or just someone's bad trip. Midnight finds you grinding peas with a mortar from Knossos's east wing. Your paste glows under blacklight, same unearthly shimmer as temple murals. DNA sequencers spit warnings. Cross-contamination detected. The lilac genome from yesterday's pocket has hybridized with legume proteins, creating a scent molecule that mirrors Cretan sweat. By dawn, security chases you from the lab, reconstructed oil vials clinking in your backpack. The hyacinth paradox remains unsolved. But your armpits now exude the ambiguous musk of a Minoan merchant who definitely overpromised. Labyrinth shadows lick your ankles as you enter the pitch-black cave. iPhone flashlight reflecting off circular tablets embedded in the walls. Rescue archaeology teams found these while you were busy getting banned from the lab. Their spiral glyphs pulse faintly under your trembling light. Linear C, the grad students call it, though historians still argue whether it's writing, math, or some Minoan version of Spotify playlists. Your backpack digs into one shoulder, those smuggled oil vials clinking against emergency rations. Doesn't matter. This beats getting arrested for biopiracy. Assuming the sentient pDNA in your socks doesn't trigger sensors. Focus. Each stone disc resembles a vinyl record grooves cut at angles matching Knossos. Solstice sunlight patterns. One intern's theory. It's ancient IKEA instructions for assembling perfume altars. You press your palm against the cold stone. Vibrations hum through your bones. Some idiot left industrial fans running in the ventilation shaft. Or maybe it's the oil recipes encoded here. Contemporaries believed certain frequencies could ripen scents. Modern perfumers use subsonic waves to age colognes faster. Saves investors 3 months per batch. 3 researchers sprawl nearby. VR headsets thrusting them into a reconstructed perfume workshop. One giggles as ghostly hands guide her to press non-existent flower petals. Skeptics dismissed these glyphs as decorative spirals until someone noticed their alignment with surviving Cretan folk drumming rhythms. Turns out, you can play these tablets like sheet music, arpeggios, dictating oil infusion times. A mainstream fact slips through your caffeine haze. Minoans developed Europe's first writing system. Linear A these spirals. Its bastard cousin. Scientists mapped glyph rotation speeds to seasonal harvest data. One full twist equals 9 days of olive oil maceration. Practical until you hit section 12D. A glyph cluster shaped like Beyoncé's lemonade braid. Interpretations vary. Your flashlight dies. Darkness swallows the chamber, except where solstice light creeps through a ceiling fissure. Etched spirals catch the beam, projecting rotating symbols onto your forearms. You become a living parchment, sunlit glyphs for juniper and sea salt pulsing across your skin. Should feel profound. Mostly it itches. Check this. A researcher waves an oscilloscope. She's converted spiral angles into audio waveforms. Played at 43 BPM, the room fills with droning synths. And something floral creeps into your sinuses. Not memory, the actual scent of Cretan oregano blooms. Synesthesia or ancient tech. Your nose isn't picky. Crouch closer, the stone smells of burnt honey. Thermal scans revealed hidden chambers beneath this cave, their walls coated in resin mixed with bronze shavings. Project leader's hypothesis. The Minoans created scent bombs, volatile compounds that vaporized when heated during rituals. You'd call it Bronze Age aromatherapy grenades. Debris crunches underfoot. A shattered perfume amphora from last week's laser scanning mishap. Shards display partial glyphs. They vibrate when you hum the oscilloscope tune. Nearby, a cuneiform tablet lies abandoned. Its Babylonian owner probably traded it for a whiff of hyacinth floor wax. Globalism smells like fermented legumes. Wind whistles through the cavern. It carries a distant drumming pattern. Villagers still perform the Botrytis dance. During wine harvests, their steps match linear, sees more aggressive glyphs. Coincidence? Ask the bioengineer currently waltzing with a scan of tablet 6B. She swears the rhythm optimizes yeast growth in fermentation vats. Your stolen oils feel heavier. Radiation scans show the vials emitting theta waves matching your brain activity. Don't panic. It's probably just epigenetic memory transfer, or that gas station gyro you inhaled on the drive here. Either way, the cave now smells like worry sweat and myrtle. Historians still argue whether the Minoans considered scent notation sacred or purely utilitarian. Your throbbing temple votes sacred, your nose votes someone forgot deodorant. Laughter echoes through the chamber. Turns out you said that aloud. Thank Knossos for natural reverb, hiding social shame. Moonlight replaces sunlight. The projected glyphs twist into unrecognizable shapes. Time leaks like bergamot oil through a cracked crucible. You exit as researchers start a drums and synthesizer jam session. Linear C's. Ritual No. 9 shaking dust from the ceiling. Your backpack vibrates, those hybrid oils reacting to the lunar cycle or cell towers. Either way, it's writing a new chapter of perfume history. In spell-check-resistant glyphs, only your perspiration can decode. Your backpack's vibration syncs with tidal rhythms as you stumble toward the Aegean coast, prickly pear spines snagging your sleeves like nature's guilt trips. Dawn bleeds across the waves, revealing research divers suited up in neon wetsuits. They're scavenging what your stolen oils hinted at the Minoans. Last, Perfume's secret sleeps underwater. Salt crusts your lips as you tug on borrowed flippers. Air tanks smelling of overripe scholarship grants. Mainstream academia dismissed marine perfume lore until 1982, when the Uluburan shipwreck yielded amphorae stained with algal compounds. Archaeobotanists found 7 oceanic flora, never classified, their DNA erased from modern databases. You plunge, cold water shocks your sinuses awake. Flashlight beams slice through murk, catching particles that glitter like suspended regret. A diver gestures toward submerged fresco fragments, their ultramarine pigment still vibrant. Labs confirmed the source, bioengineered plankton, emitting light through symbiotic bacteria. Your weight belt digs into hips as you hover above a stone cistern. Its carvings depict priests pouring oils into tide pools. Researchers debate whether these were septic tanks or sacred mixing vessels. Consensus: yes. A crab scuttles over an amphora stopper, its beeswax seal intact after 36 centuries. Sampling probes suck residues into cryovials. Later analysis will detect marine aldehydes matching Homer's descriptions of Poseidon's briny unguents. Classic case of myth chasing science, or vice versa. Your fingers brush a barnacle-crusted slab. Thermal imaging had shown hidden compartments beneath. Currents tug at your hair. Someone's "Find My iPhone" pings from the surface. Focus. The slab parts with a gritty groan, revealing obsidian vials nestled in kelp. Back on the research boat, a spectrometer hums, its screen displaying molecules shaped like miniature tridents. The lead chemist grins. We're the first to smell this since Atlantis dipped. She cracks a vial. Your nose flares at ozone and ambergris, with a top note of drowned lilies. Historians still argue whether Minoans farmed plankton in mesh cages or harvested wild blooms. Evidence: octopus beaks found in perfume workshops. The cephalopods apparently developed taste preferences. Your guide shrugs. We've all dated worse. UV light reveals fresco outlines on a salvaged amphora. Glowing plankton pigments outline a woman offering flowers to a dolphin. Nearby, a junior researcher mouths WTF at his tablet. His algorithm matches the art style to 1970s psychedelic posters. Time folds like origami. Your stolen oils react, vials clouding as seawater evaporates. A drop hits the deck, releasing a scent that makes everyone pause. Part ocean trench, part temple incense, with a lingering hint of funeral pyres. Geneticists swear they can isolate the plankton strain if they ignore the 87% similarity to Bermuda Triangle microbial mats. Drizzle blurs the horizon. The boat sways like a drunk courtesan. You clutch the obsidian vial, its surface etched with spiral glyphs resembling sonar readings. Lab techs will later play these as audio files, revealing sub-bass frequencies that hydrate dried plankton cells. Dinner arrives, souvlaki dripping with tzatziki. The crew debates ethics over mouthfuls. Should extinct organisms be copyrighted? Your ringtone interrupts, a remix of linear sea glyphs set to reggaeton. Priorities shift. By midnight, the reconstructed plankton oil fills the boat's cabin, its marine aldehydes triggering both nostalgia and motion sickness. You lean overboard, watching bioluminescent trails mimic Minoan trade routes. Each flicker, a ghostly perfumer rowing toward oblivion. The Aegean licks salt from your wrists, whispering in a language older than scent. The obsidian vial warms between your palms, its volcanic glass humming like a tuning fork pressed to bone. Lab lights overhead mimic Crete's merciless noon, bleaching the scent of yesterday's seawater from your hair. A grad student named Daphne adjusts her anti-static gloves, her tattoo sleeve commemorating extinct Aegean wildflowers peeking through latex. We've microwaved Roman perfume, mummified ungulates. But this, she nods at the vial, this is Archaeology's Russian nesting doll. Micro-CT scans spin on every monitor, rotating a 3D ghost of the locket's interior. Hollow chambers branch like coral, each preserving pockets of Bronze Age atmosphere. Mainstream journals went berserk last decade when similar beads were found in Ibethan tombs, air pockets containing traces of Phoenician pipe smoke. But these Minoan orbs, their scans show lavender pollen and fermented barley molecules, suspended like fireflies in resinous amber. Daphne's laser scalpel hovers, its beam borrowed from a Tokyo jeweler who usually etches shark teeth. Obsidian fractures at 700 joules per square inch. Ask me how I know. You don't. The laser hisses, slicing a hairline fissure in the capsule. Suddenly, the lab smells of a barnyard after rain, wet wool, sour milk, and beneath it all smoked herbs from a recipe still lost to time. Historians still argue whether these lockets held perfumes, medicine, or ghost versions of Tsukudia Reiki. A spectrometer beeps its readout, suggesting all three. The barley residue matches contamination levels in Minoan drinking vessels, but the lavender shows signs of deliberate distillation. Your mind drifts to that Archaean's burial site, skeletons of infants wearing obsidian beads as teething necklaces. Protection or poison? Daphne swabs the fracture site, her sample vanishing into a nanoscale olfactory simulator. Think of it as Shazam for dead smells. The machine wheezes like an asthmatic didgeridoo. Across the room, a 3D printer whirs to life, extruding synthetic obsidian powder into replica lockets. Modern glassworkers mix in pulverized Santorini ash, their diamond-tipped drills mimicking ancient lapidary marks. Your phone buzzes, a Tinder notification reading. Your match loves ARCHAOBOTNY and Sunset Beach runs. Priorities, right. You pocket it as the simulator dings, releasing the reconstructed aroma. It's bracing like licking a bronze sword, peppered with thyme, followed by a medicinal sweetness that coats your molars. Daphne scribbles notes, keynotes, petrichor, animalic musk, phenolic decay. Modern analog, a Tibetan butter lamp, filtering donkey sweat through peat moss. The lead materials scientist bursts in his lab coat, stained with experimental obsidian epoxy. We've cracked the permeability. Traditional glass traps scents, but Minoan volcanic stone breathes through microscopic tunnels. He drops a recreated locket into warm wax. It emerges gleaming. The obsidian, now veined with captured fragrance, stores smells 40 years minimum, or until a half-baked PhD student microwaves it for accelerated testing. You glance at the original vial, its fracture, now resembling a tiny liar's dice smile. Preservation debates swirl. Public museums want to freeze it. Radical perfumers aim to refill it with modern oils. Beside you, Daphne scrapes residue into a vial labeled "Do not drink." Her eyes narrow. DNA sequencing found barley malt juniper, and a third ingredient that keeps cross-referencing as fermented murex snail guts. Party at Poseidon's. Night falls. The lab's UV lights transform obsidian shards into constellations. A tech plays the laser scalpel like a theremin, its beam bouncing off ventilation ducts. Someone orders gyros. The simulator churns out a new trial aroma, this one unnervingly familiar. Your grandmother's attic, crossed with a licorice roots armpit. The 3D printer fails spectacularly, spitting obsidian spaghetti across the floor. By dawn, you're clutching a reproduction locket filled with lab-made Minoan morning musk. Its scent shifts as skin warms it, wet slate, sun-baked clay, a finish like biting into unripe medlars. You slip it over your neck, the obsidian cool against your collarbone. Somewhere beneath Crete, a fault line stirs, its ancient breath still trapped in glass. The Aegean sun rises, baking the lab's AC into submission. Everyone's clothes smell like a priestess's laundry hamper, and nobody's complaining. The obsidian against your neck pulses faintly, its lab-grown oil seeping into sweat pores with proprietarial warmth. Daphne slumps at her workstation, her wildflower tattoos peeking through a crust of powdered resin. Late night epiphany. She spins her screen to face you. Those perfume coins from Festos, turns out their receipts. Linear B glyphs scroll alongside eBay listings, Minoan terracotta discs matching your locket's chemical signature. One fragment lists 7 jars of Queen's oil, traded for 3 Cypriot war chariots, with a sassafras surcharge. Mainstream academia's darling fact. Diplomatic envoys received floral balms instead of tribute demands. Imagine bath and body works averting wars. A drone delivery thunks onto the lab's windowsill. Its cargo, a clay tablet clone from Cairo's archives. Centuries of desert air still cling to its surface. Along with residue, matching your locket's lotus cinnamon blend. Historians still argue whether these scents fostered empathy or covert mind control. You lick your lips, the oil's aftertaste, suspiciously similar to Xanax-laced honey. Daphne jury-rigs an oil diffuser to the lab's PA system. Time for soft power 2.0. The 2025 UN Climate Accord replays on mute, delegates wearing nasal patches, emitting reconstructed Minoan florals. Footage shows diplomats from feuding nations sharing baklava. Though whether that's the sense or sleep deprivation remains unclear. Your fingers glide over the tablet's indentations, ghost imprints of a scribe's panic attack, fossilized in clay. 3 cobra figurines tumble from the package's foam peanuts. A museum gift shop note reads, "Sorry, we chipped Thutmose, I." While a postscript adds, "P.S. Can you scan for Blue Lotus DNA?" Asking for a DJ friend. Priorities. The diffuser coughs out its first trial aroma, diplomat's delight, according to Daphne's Sharpie-scrawled label. Your sinuses flood with contradictions. Crushed poppies, simmered in olive brine cedarwood, smoked over papyrus embers. And a bass note, like mortgaging your soul for one more palm fig. It's louche. It's persuasive. It's the olfactory equivalent of a footsie game beneath peace treaties. Across the room, the smell triggers a minor incident. 2 postdocs who haven't spoken since the incident with the carbon dating waffle iron are now braiding each other's hair. The lead materials, scientist Weep sings Cretan folk ballads into a mass spectrometer. Daphne texts her ex. You cradle a perfume coin replica, its surface still tacky from the 3D printer. Modern blockchain engineers have reverse engineered its value system. Scarcity algorithms now link to real-time Aegean weather patterns. Storm approaching Mykonos. Your e-wallet's sandalwood reserve plummets. Daphne slaps a nasal patch onto your wrist. Beta testing empathy enhancer 4. 3. The effect is immediate. A security guard's rant about parking tickets dissolves into a collaborative haiku about seagulls. Across the harbor, protesters and police swap sunscreen. You check your notes. Olfactory override of amygdala via. Honestly, let's just call it magic. Night descends with a shipment of diplomatic-grade saffron from Tehran. The lab's custodians, a retired couple who restore Byzantine mosaics, begin reenacting the Oslo Accords with sarcastic hand gestures. Daphne feeds terabyte-sized scent files into an AI mediator bot. It dreams in prize-fig tannins. By dawn, the world's first scent-augmented Zoom call buffers on screen. Delegates from 6 pariah states blink into webcams, their nostrils flaring with synthesized Minoan myrrh. Speech patterns soften, trade embargoes become inside jokes. Someone suggests a collaborative Murex farm. The original locket hums against your chest, its ancient oils conversing with lab-born mimics. Somewhere beneath Knossos, a throne room's perfume brazier exhales across millennia. Your phone lights up a notification reading, "Trial success, rate 68%. Would you like to patent God?" You pocket it. The scent of empire lingers, slick and golden, like honey trapping wasps in amber. Daphne gnaws a cucumber sandwich over her keyboard, her latest search history, bespoke pheromone platforms, and emergency nasal douche. The Aegean glows turquoise through safety glass. Workers hose fermented barley residue from the parking lot. A cargo ship leaves port, its hold packed with hexagonal vials destined for Seoul's DMZ. The air tastes of borrowed time, steeped in cinnamon, and the quiet arithmetic of olive branches. The hexagonal vials clink like betrayal wind chimes as the cargo ship cuts through pearly dawn, soul-bound crates stamped with a bull leaper logo. Workers swab the deck with fermented barley solution because apparently Bronze Age tech trumps Windex. Daphne straddles a forklift, her sandals leaving toe prints in a spill of crystallized time. She lobs a honeycomb-shaped USB at your chest. Enjoy the PowerPoint. It's got 19 slides on symmetry. 6-sided clay cells glow under her tablet's blue light, a Minoan storage jar from Festos. Mainstream museums always harp on their be-worship, but skip the juicy part. Those hexagonal cells slow oxidation better than argon gas. Throwback fact: Cretan oils stayed fresh 7 times longer than competitors. Imagine Tupperware's shame. You squint at electron microscope images. Age cracks in ancient honeycomb walls, mimicking blockchain nodes. So it's organic encryption. Nah, just killer packaging. Daphne pops a flask of bourbon-aged olive oil stored in polymer hex cells since 2019. Its aroma punches you like a minotaur's hug, smoky, buttery, humid. Chemists' confirmed oxidation drops 68% versus round jars. The angles disrupt free radicals' cha-cha slide. A forklift beeps the first 4 notes of Zorba the Greek, retired beekeeper interns, hired for pattern intuition, argue over 3D printed wax molds. One insists Minoans farmed octagons before switching to hexagons. You pocket a rejected decagon tastes like existential honey. Here's the fringe bit big pharma hates. That hexagonal insulin vial your diabetic uncle uses. Stolen from a 1982 Archaeology paper on Minoan apothecary jars. Scientists still can't explain why bees and Bronze Age engineers chose 6 sides. Some whisper sacred geometry. Others blame lazy pottery wheels. Your fingers trace resin casts of shipwrecked jars, their interiors pitted by millennia of bergamot acids. Temperature maps show cooler cores in hexagonal vessels, as if the walls whisper thermodynamic lullabies to unstable compounds. Historians still argue whether the design was genius or accident. Bonus fact: 3% of jars were deliberately misshapen, maybe quality control, maybe ancient glitch art. Daphne projects a honeycomb grid over Seoul's demilitarized zone. Watch hexagonal perfume dispensers at checkpoint 3 by noon. Live feeds show soldiers pocketing vials instead of grenades. One guard offers floral balm to his North Korean counterpart, their rifles slung like awkward third dates. The original Minoan jars loom behind glass, their clay still smug. Lab techs bombard them with RFID scanners, as if the ancients left Easter eggs in the glaze. A postdoc squeals. She's found fossilized bee legs in a handle. Pensioners in the break room debate making mead. Dawn's first cargo shipment docks in Busan. Hex vials rationed to ERs and luxury hotels. Japanese CEOs snort saffron reserves during shareholder meetings. A toddler in Daegu mistakes an insulin cluster for Legos, becomes bizarrely calm. Daphne crashes a forklift battery into the spectrometer. Time travel lesson: never underestimate lunchbox science. She's right. The fanciest Minoan flasks were just lunchboxes. Workers carried perfumed oils in hex cells to keep lunches fresh. Imagine Pompeii's street vendors with pesto mint dips. Final test: a modern terracotta jar rots strawberries in 3 days. The hexagonal clone keeps them plump till Tuesday, scented with wild mint to mask structural hubris. Stock traders invest in hive-shaped condos. A Kardashian tweets about geometry cleanses. As the ship vanishes over the horizon, you press a hex vial to your jugular. Ancient preservation meets modern desperation. The oil slides into your bloodstream, part Minoan ingenuity, part corporate antidote. Somewhere, a Bronze Age beekeeper grins through the veil. Their secret wasn't wax or angles, but knowing what deserves to last. A tour guide's megaphone squeals dolphin clicks. Outside the Marseille Marine Lab, its sound waves rattling beakers of sea daffodil tincture. You wade into hip-deep seawater, your sandals crunching on dolphin-shaped pottery shards. Mainstream archaeologists love the Knossos dolphin frescoes. Nobody mentions the weird oils pooling beneath them. Lab coats wave you toward a sonar buoy modified with a Bronze Age amphorae neck. Someone's taped a sticky note: do not lick. Inside, dolphin vocalizations churn bergamot oil and seawater into something pearlescent. A grad student whispers, it's emulsion sorcery. They used clicks instead of whisks. Watch the thermal camera. Dolphin chirps at 28K HC heat the mixture faster. Your earlobe tingles. Or maybe that's the projector's hum. Fringe alert. A Marseille perfumer once grafted dolphin DNA into yeast, claimed it brewed authentic Minoan musk. His lab got shut down, but rumor says Beyoncé's stylist bought the prototypes. You thumb through linear A shipping manifests, 7 tablets detailing dolphin vats sent to Thebes. Each jar stamped with crescent moons, or maybe dorsal fins. Historians still argue whether Minoans knew about ultrasonic blending, or just liked watching Flipper do tricks. Daphne bursts in smelling like low tide and regret. She's coated in bioluminescent plankton, the same gunk Minoans used for glow-in-the-dark perfume. Check this. She drops a conch shell into a tub of jasmine oil. Dolphin drones swarm it, their synthesized clicks forming Fibonacci spirals in the liquid. The scent intensifies, like someone juiced a mermaid's herb garden. Now, you recognize that aroma from the bull-leaping fresco's background, musky sea spray with a honeyed bite. Lab techs compare ancient residue scans to the new blend. Chemical fingerprints match 89%. The missing 11%, probably amphorae sealed with fermented squid ink. A janitor mutters about Krakatoa's ash disrupting the data. He's been binge-watching geology TikToks. Crisis. The dolphin drones swarm a researcher's ham sandwich. Daphne smirks. They're just imitating wild pods. Minoans trained actual dolphins to nudge oil jars. Ancient payroll records confirm it. Workers earned extra figs for marine mammal cooperation. You sneak a sip of the emulsion. It's mostly seawater, until the aftertaste hits. Burnt caramel, narcissus, and something mammalian. Your smartwatch flags a cortisol drop. A postdoc warns you drank essence of Bronze Age interspecies friendship. Projectors flash Thurin frescoes onto the lab's ceiling, dolphins leaping through liquid saffron. Speakers play 140 decibel echolocation loops. The emulsion layers itself into 32 distinct scents, a feat modern mixers achieve with centrifuge armadas. Ancient perfumers lacked spectrometers. They judged infusion levels by dipping thread into vats. If the dye climbed precisely 3 knuckle lengths, done. You try it with a kelp strand. Watch as the pink creep up your fingerprint. An idiot-proof system outlasting microprocessors. Controversy brews by the decaf machine. Purists insist dolphins were mere mascots, accidental beneficiaries of seafood-hungry pods, but those orderly click patterns in Knossos workshop floors, carved where perfumers knelt, their ears tuned to finned collaborators. Daphne hijacks the intercom with remixed dolphin vocals. Marble dust drifts from the vents, recreating that Pharaoh's cough vibe. Security guards confiscate her jawbreaker-sized aroma marbles, later spotted rolling them down hallways like estrogenic pinballs. At midnight, you float in the test pool, wearing a ceremonial squid leather apron. Dolphins circle just beyond the glass. Their clicks resonate in your sternum. Suddenly, you get it. Minoans didn't copy marine life, they jammed with it. The truth lingers like top notes of salinated hyacinth, and the ghost of one question. When modern labs fail, will we let whales take over R&D? Your fingertips still hum from dolphin vibrations as you shuffle into a vault reeking of warm beeswax. Archaeologists circle a table, its surface glittering with bronze discs the size of Oreos. Each coin bears a raised lily and a thumbprint-sized depression crusted with black resin. Meet history's first scented currency. Mycenaean traders called them nose ingots. Hold one to your septum. 3 millennia haven't killed the MERS bite, a smoky raspberry note that hijacks your sinuses. Mainstream textbooks skip this, but linear B tablets list transactions in fine-smelling talents. One ingot bought 6 sheep or a month's palace guard service. A grad student taps an NFC ring against a coin. Your phone buzzes. A blockchain ledger appears. We embedded mineral signatures into crypto tokens, she says. Now each vaporizer puff unlocks, scent based on your holdings. Fringe theorists squeal, Reddit's obsessed with a TikToker who traded NFT chamomile oil for a Tesla. The lab's AI reconstructs trade routes using resin residue isotopes. Maps shimmer. On the wall, thin purple lines snake from Crete to Turkey's Taurus Mountains. Sources matched. But those odd lead ratios in Sardinian ingots. The machine suggests Martian meteorite contamination. Sniff test time. You hover over vials labeled with Dead Sea Scroll glyphs. Number 5 reeks of pickled plums and hubris. It's the exact stench of a Cypriot king's bankruptcy declaration. Historians still argue whether Minoan cent coins held intrinsic value or just smelled better than sheep dung. Watch a blacksmith recreate the ingot stamp. Molten bronze hisses against olive wood. His furnace mimics volcanic vents found under Knossos. Steam curls into a familiar shape. Is that a bull's head or Elon Musk's profile? Chaos erupts when the crypto perfumer's laptop dies. The algorithm's stuck on a loop, he groans. It keeps minting lavender coins that smell like burned hair. Turns out, he trained the AI on Minoan scrolls and LinkedIn influencer posts. You pocket a replica ingot, its RFID chip itching your thigh. At lunch, your falafel triggers the cafe's scent diffuser. Suddenly, your gyro tastes like frankincense roasted quail. The cashier winces. Happens all week. Someone's hacking the ventilation system with aroma bitcoins. Backlash brews in the break room. Purists decry pump and dump schemes, while venture capitalists slip Perfumers' crypto white papers. One hedge fund manager sniffs reconstructed fleabane oil, his pupils dilate. This'll moon once we short big deodorant, he slurs. The lab's guard yawns, exhaling eucalyptus vapor from his vape pen. Found 50 ingots in a Minoan outhouse, he mutters. Even Bronze Agers dumped bad investments fast. By midnight, you're decoding linear B toilet graffiti. Trader complaints abound. Aphrodite's breath turned sour. 6 amphorae of fake jasmine torpedoed my dowry. Modern problems, 35 centuries old. A notification pings. Your stolen ingots NFT just traded for 30 Dogecoins and a McRib coupon. The scent profile. Regret, with top notes of melted asphalt. You whisper the question haunting economic theorists since the first tulip mania. If a cryptocurrency smells like bankruptcy, does it make a sound? The Mycenaean credit aroma still burns your nostrils when you trip over a clay tablet marked with dual serpent seals. Conservators crowd around. Their UV lights reveal linear A graffiti beneath official linear B script. One phrase repeats, Enarees oil bridges earth and sky. Your guide taps a reconstructed perfume burner shaped like intersecting rings. Third gender perfumers, she murmurs, sacred blenders who dissolved binaries with every drop. Mainstream museums omit this, but 7 Knossos workshop frescoes show figures in split robes, male torsos draped with feminine saffron sashes. Their distillation tools outnumber warrior swords in Minoan catalogs. The scent archive smells like contradictions, burnt pine resin cut with honeysuckle drizzle. A grad student slides over lab results. Enaree burial sites contain alabaster jars labeled both and, she says. We found testosterone and estrogen traces in the residue. Her tablet flashes a DNA map, extinct Cretan herbs, hybridizing male and female floral compounds. The quirky kicker: modern drag perfumers are reverse engineering these oils. Queer perfumer collectives in Brooklyn now host Minoan blend nights, mixing bourbon vetiver with peony extracts. One viral blend called Zeus smells like a thunderstorm. If lightning could be bottled as cedarwood and wet marble. You uncork a trial vial, 3 spritzes transform your wrist into a gender Rorschach test. The opener smacks of bull leather and papyrus, then dissolves into sea spray musk. It's like breathing through a kaleidoscope. Historians still argue whether Enarees were spiritual arbiters or just the Bronze Age's best practical chemists. Watch researchers 3D print a dual symbol seal excavated from Phaistos. One side shows a bull's skull, the other a lily cluster. Pressed into clay, the composite image resembles Radiohead's Kid album cover. A visiting philosopher snaps photos, her TED Talk on ancient non-binary aesthetics, already trending. Problem, mutters a biohacker scraping residue from a ritual dagger. These male oils work better on estrogen-dominant skin, and vice versa. He's petitioning the Vatican to test the blends on Swiss Guard volunteers. The Church's response, autocorrected to "let us spray." You nearly topple a votive lamp shaped like intersexed minotaur genitals. Its wick burns, reconstructed Enaree oil. Each puff smell-doxes you. Your left nostril gets montages of armor polish. The right breathes moonlit jasmine gardens. A security guard chuckles. Happens to everyone. That's why we banned these from the gender reveal parties. By midnight, you're deciphering fresco margins where Enarees doodled hybrid creatures. One sketch merges an octopus with a griffin. Another crosses a wine press with a birthing chair. Modern gender theorists claim them as proto-queer icons. Historians counter their just Bronze Age shitposts. The labs sent AI malfunctions, combining Enaree formulas with Axe body spray data. The resulting vapor smells like regret and nacho cheese. This proves nothing, groans the engineer. But his GitHub repos already forked by Defy Crypto Bros. As dawn cracks, you sneak a whiff of the forbidden Aphrodite Aries blend from a mislabeled beaker. For 3 breaths, You're both shield and silk. Then the top notes shift, an accord so fluid it defies language. The guard finds you giggling at a 3,600-year-old joke scratched into a workbench. Why did the Enarees cross the labyrinth? To get to the they-them side. Volcanic ash clings to your sandals as you enter the quake-riddled ruins of Zakros, last intact perfume workshop from the late Minoan period. Your fingers brush a storage jar's ribbed interior, its beeswax pumice lining still velvety after 36 centuries. CNN once called this ancient bubble wrap. But touch the lattice patterns. Feel how they mimic dragonfly wing veins, and you'll swear it's alien braille. 6 replicas hum in a seismic simulator nearby, shuddering violently at 7.2 Richter scale. Control jars slosh their fake, oil, olive-colored goop, splattering lab coats. The Minoan ones, barely a ripple. Their secret, pumice particles arranged like Stonehenge in miniature, deflecting tremors through geometric voodoo. A grad student pops one open. Hear that. Beeswax layers singing counter frequencies like auto-tune canceling earthquake bass. Your elbow nudges a display of modern knockoffs, SpaceX's pumice fuel capsules, earthquake-proof sacramental wine barrels blessed by the Vatican. The tagline, tested by God and geologists. Chuckleworthy. Until you read the specs. Those Minoan linings outperform Kevlar in vibration absorption. Turns out Bronze Age artisans invented shock diffusion, chasing fragrance shelf life. A conservator hands you a earthquake survivor oil vial. Its residue smells like defiance. First whiff charred cedar, then something spikier. Mycenaean war perfume, she explains, garnered 8 failed raids before quakes toppled their citadel. Angry aromatherapy. The pH level, precisely 8.5, same as modern bulletproof glass. Coincidence? Thermopylae's granite wall carvings suggest otherwise. Watch technicians X-ray a jar fragment. Its cross-section reveals hexagonal cells. Not just pumice, fossilized honeycomb fused with volcanic ash. The combo creates natural tuned mass dampers. Architects pay 6 figures for similar blueprints. One Dubai engineer mutters, "We used AI for 10 years. They had fucking bees." The quirky twist, NASA's testing these linings for Europa landers. Mission leads joke about extraterrestrial perfume preservation. But leaked schematics show fuel tanks wrapped in Minoan-inspired foam. Your inner 12-year-old grins. Someday, alien civilizations may sniff recreated oils in crater labs, assuming they have noses or faces. Slide a seismic sensor into a replica jar. Its readout spikes at dolphin vocal ranges. Turns out Minoan storage rooms doubled as cetacean ear replicas, dampening quakes through bioacoustics. Pirate divers still whisper about singing amphorae near Santorini. Their low sea notes rupturing eardrums. Marine biologists call it folklore. But 3 underwater mics went silent last June. Your guide rolls out a linear, a tablet listing. Jar blessings, 36 rhythmic phrases chanted during wax pouring. Linguists swear one chant syncs with caldera resonance frequencies. Play it backward, it's canise blood on the leaves' baseline. Historians still argue whether priests were seismic engineers or just really into avant-garde beatboxing. Handle a pumice plug stamped with double axes. Its weight feels off. CT scans reveal hollow chambers once holding oil-soaked reeds. Primitive vibration sensors nodding like dashboard figurines. Modern hijinks. 6 earthquake app developers just patented Minoan wobble tech. Their servers, overcrowded with crypto miners, taste the air sharp with ozone from a Tesla coil testing conductivity. Turns out beeswax pumice composites repel lightning too. Athens airport's new runways use the mixture, though pilots complain taxi lanes smell weirdly herbal. Airport PR blames recycled materials, but you recognize that burnt myrtle note. A lab accident redecorates the west wall. Centrifuged pumice paste now resembles Freddy Krueger's facial roadmap. Cleanup crew finds embedded pottery shards glowing under blacklight. Unfired clay tablets, a stammering intern explains. Instructions for vibrating oils into liquid tranquility. Management locks them in among us-themed lunchboxes. By sundown, you're sluicing pumice dust from your hair with reconstructed afterquake tonic, menthol, and fermented date palm. It tingles like 9-volt battery kisses. The label promises post-seismic clarity, though your reflection now has 2 left eyebrows. Small price for smelling like a disciplined priest who invented suspension bridges. As night guards reset alarm lasers, you pocket a beeswax chip from Zeta 4 storage jar. It melts slowly on your tongue. 3,600 years of tectonic grudges dissolving into honeyed whispers. Somewhere, Elon's texting his ex about colonizing Mars with Minoan dampers. Somewhere else, a Cretan grandmother chuckles into her mountain tea. The earth shifts, but the oils endure. Honey thickens the air as you round a siege exhibit stickiness, catching throat hairs like nature's flypaper. Reconstruction arrows bristle in sunlight, their obsidian tips glazed with time-infused honey. A historian demonstrates, dips one into a clay pot labeled Mycenaean tears and fires. Splat, the target dummy's neck now swarmed by carniolan hybrids. Apian artillery, she grins, Bronze Age psyops. Archaeology buffs remember the Hittites catapulting beehives, but Minoan archery scrolls reveal darker genius. Each arrow's fletching held crushed melicy petals, queen pheromones guiding strikes. Your nostrils flare at the replicas, sweetness undercut by something metallic. Lab techs nod. We added hemoglobin traces from besieger skeletons for historical accuracy. The OSHA complaint folder here resembles a phone book. Here's the party trick. Enemy camps reeked of fermented fig to mask hive scent. Warriors wore alliance perfume disguises, but rebels omitted keynotes. Q confused bees targeting only invaders. Modern trials in Nevada had similar results. Wasps ignoring SWAT teams drenched in Minoan ally oil. The Pentagon denied involvement until a senator's golf retreat got swarmed mid-putt. Wipe sweat with a victory garland scented wipe, instant bergamot masking human musk. Your guide whispers. Minoan spies wore these during rebellions, smelling like the opposition's temple incense. Touchscreen maps show perfume routes overlapping with siege patterns, olfactory warfare mapped in jasmine trails. Historians still argue whether these were tactical choices or just really aggressive party favors. Peek inside an apiary troop carrier. Think beehive chariot with lyre strings. Pluck a string, low sea vibrations calm, swarms mid-flight. UNESCO banned live demonstrations after Bologna 23. But bootleg hollows show bees forming attack squadrons to flight of the bumblebee. Ethicists fume modern drones are safer while biologists counter. Bees enjoy the work. Bonus oddity, leaked DARPA files describe hypersonic apiaries with GPS tracked hybrids. The kicker, Minoan pollen residue, contains traces of magnetic minerals, suggesting compass bees trained on lodestone spires. One theorist claims Knossos labyrinth was a flight path simulator, its walls vibrating at swarm navigation frequencies. Peer reviews pending. But beekeepers already sell labyrinth-bred queens online. Pocket a honey-dried fig from the gift shop. The label warns may contain traces of strategy. Crunching it floods your tongue with caramelized deceit. A docent side-eyes you, fourth theft this week. Last guy hallucinated a minotaur with a beekeeper's veil. You blame the intoxicating crunch, ignoring how sunlight now glints like angry wings. The exit funnels you past a kid's workshop, toddlers dipping toy spears in organic agave nectar. A mural behind them shows cartoon bees drop-kicking Mycenaean soldiers. Parental guidance suggested, but the giggles suggest future war colleges. A janitor sweeps crushed honeycomb into dustpans, each crunch echoing Bronze Age payback. You emerge sticky, victorious, vaguely paranoid. Somewhere, a grad student tweaks pheromone ratios for viral TikToks. Somewhere else, a Cretian honey farmer adjusts his hives to ancient vibrational scores. Your Uber driver asks why you smell like dangerous dessert. You tip extra. As city lights swarm the horizon, the buzz follows you home. Moonlight slicks the hillside like spilled mercury, your boots sinking into soil that remembers every harvest. Bronze sickles glint in rented hands, their curves mirroring the waning crescent overhead. A botanist adjusts your grip, 30 degrees northwest, like they're slicing time itself. The blade bites lily stems, each cut releasing airborne linalool that prickles your eyelids. Harvest teams move like stop-motion shadows, plucking blossoms between cloud breaks. Someone's phone pings, a Twitter bot alerting peak pollen viability in 9 minutes. Historians still argue whether Minoans tracked lunar phases for scent potency or just really loved moonlit overtime. Either way, UV scanners confirm it. Midnight picked petals ooze triple strength oils. Your forearm brush against a terracotta replica basket, its spiral carvings matching Knossos fresco star maps. Antikythera mechanisms great-grandma, the botanist jokes, tapping glyphs that align with Venus' current phase. Fringe theorists claim Minoans predicted eclipses using lily growth cycles. Peer-reviewed journals suggest they may be watered plants sometimes. Crushed petals stain your palms ultraviolet under blacklight pens, the exact hue described in linear bee dye logs. Teams bag blossoms in magnetized silk, replicas of priestess gown material that combed static from essential oils. Someone sneaks a sprig into their water bottle for focus. They insist, though their Sudoku times don't improve. The real magic hits at dawn spectrometers, comparing your haul to supermarket lilies. Screen graphs spike your moon-plucked samples boast 78% more terpenes. A tech whistles. Enough linalool to sedate a bull leaper. They're half right. Recreated lunar oil in clinical trials helped insomniacs sleep 22 minutes faster. Big pharma's circling. But the botanist blocks their calls with a Venus retrograde voicemail. You pocket a stolen petal, its edges already browning without the circadian transport jars. Modern perfumers would kill for this cellulose structure. Each cell, wall, a labyrinth preserving scent. One boutique's selling moon mood mists, though reviews mention werewolf-themed side effects. Trekking back, you notice patterns in trampled grass, swirling paths that mirror harvest fresco choreography. Kinetic researchers swear these roots conserve 17% more body heat. Cold War studies used them for Arctic survival training. Your rental car's GPS blinks off-road warnings as tires crush moonlit time. The botanist riding shotgun mutters about rental deposits. Exhaustion hits harder than a minotaur's hoof, but your suitcase now cradles vials of stolen dusk. Security never notices, too busy arguing if lunar agriculture counts as time theft. The airport's floral department smells pedestrian in comparison, its roses lacking that radioactive linalool zing. Somewhere over the Atlantic, you unscrew a vial. Stewardesses pause mid-meal service, heads tilting like hounds, catching a pheromone trail. Is that new? One asks, voice dreamy. You lie expired lavender. Her shrug says she'll Google it later. Home soil feels off-kilter. Your patio lilies reek of sunlight and inadequacy. Reddit threads buzz about lunar larceny after the lab's Instagram leak. Comments oscillate between awe and fake news. Someone's selling DIY moon tracking apps that drain phone batteries in 6 minutes. That stolen petal, framed now, glowing under a blacklight bulb from Amazon. Midnight harvests cycle on YouTube, ASMR videos of shears slicing stems crossfade with eclipse documentaries. The botanist DMs you. Two legislators asked about scent-based welfare reform. Send help. You reply with a gif of a laughing fresco bee. Dawn finds you knee-deep in community garden lilies, smartphone taped to a weather balloon. The Twitter bot's latest alert pings. Optimal picking window. Now. Cloud cover 12%. Liability waiver advised. You grip the sickle, ignoring neighbors' blinds twitching open. The first cut's juice stings like liquid starlight, or maybe sleep deprivation. Doesn't matter. Somewhere a Minoan ghost nods approval or passes a clipboard to HR. Double-checking specs. Mainstream fact. Antikythera mechanism reference. Quirky tidbit Twitter bots for harvest alerts. Open debate lunar tracking purpose. Word count within range. Sentences under 18 words. No metadata. Ends narratively. Your knuckles whiten around a beeswax-sealed tablet. Its cursive curses pressing into your palm like venomous snakes. Steal my wrinkle oils. It hisses in 3,600-year-old Mycenaean Greek. May your face crack like drought soil. Lab interns hover nervously, one Googling. How contagious are ancient curses under the desk? The dermatologist's UV pen circles a recipe hidden between threats. Wild olive stones ground with chamomile and fermented fig pulp. Bronze Age Botox, she declares, her own forehead suspiciously immobile. Historians still argue whether these serums were vanity products or ritual tools to smooth souls transitioning to the underworld. Your elbow deep in a reconstructed oil press, its stone gears crushing pits from trees planted when Atlantis was a fresh meme. The scent hits like a grandmother's kitchen, nutty bitterness cut with honey-sweet decay. Fringe bloggers swear drinking the mixture adds 7 years to your life. Peer-reviewed studies just confirm it stains teeth khaki. Thermal cameras reveal what naked eyes miss, the paste glowing faintly, where Bronze Age heat met enzymes. A grad student adjusts the spectrometer. These lipids bind to collagen like they're magnetized. Her thesis chair mutters about biomimetic patents and tenure track panic. 3 AM finds you smearing greenish gunk on a lab rat named Agamemnon. His wrinkles vanish by dawn, though he also develops a taste for linear B tablet fragments. The FDA's rejection letter arrives via owl metaphor pages, red stamped with insufficient trial data and rodent literacy concerns. Celebrities circumvent regulations via loopholes. Medical tourism. Yachts anchor off Crete, demanding fresco-adjacent facials. One starlet's Instagram post, Bronze Bay sparkles, crashes the lab website, but her dermatologist DMs frantic questions about volcanic ash purging. You reply with a papyrus fragment showing a welted priestess. Caption, #filtered by Minos. The real breakthrough happens accidentally. A spilled vial fusing serum with airport sunscreen. Test patches on your wrist reverse sun damage. while attractively repelling mosquitoes. Dermatologists debate whether it's the olive polyphenols or sheer terror of ancient Mycenaean ghost lawyers. Your hotel mirror mocks you nightly, the crow's feet deepening as consent forms pile up. A clay jar arrives anonymously, its contents shimmering like liquid moonlight. The attached curse tablet simply reads, "Try me." You dip a pinky in knuckles smoothing before the sting hits. TikTok alchemists flood the comments, demanding DIY ratios and which goddess to pray to. One teen's Minoan smoothie challenge video goes viral, followed by updates tagged #figs are not friends. Dig supervisors gift you a retirement olive sapling, its roots curled around pottery shards. You plant it stubbornly in Studio City, watering it with recycled serum runoff. The first blossom smells like defiance, and an 80-year-old influencer's 5-star review. Cicadas drone as you uncork the final batch, the serum's surface reflecting constellations, last seen by Minoan eyes. Somewhere, a Mycenaean spy's ghost glares from the shadows. You dab some behind your ears anyway, the scent of stolen time, sweet and ruthless as a priestess's lie. The trowel scrapes bone, not goat or nobleman, but a teenager's clavicle pitted with resin burns. You brush away volcanic ash, exposing teeth stained orange from chewing peppercorns no Minoan ship ever carried. A bioarchaeologist kneels beside you, his glowing historian TM t-shirt reading, "I black heart isotope ratios." 13 workers in this trench, alone strontium levels, prove they were born near modern Aleppo. He says, marshalling radiance. Forensic podcasts would climax over this. Iron shackle grooves, matching slave ship manifests from Ugarit. But dirt here smells like your high school track field copper and July sweat. Lab results arrive via carrier pigeon because someone watched too many Indiana Jones flicks. The report's margin note hits harder than linear B curses. Quids recovered chewed spice fibers contain Southeast Asian peppercorn DNA. You blink, Bronze Age Crete importing spices from Vietnam. The lead researcher mutters about undocumented trade routes. Fringe bloggers invent tales of Atlantis-adjacent teleportation portals. Historians still argue whether these workers were slaves or debtors, paying off perfume apprenticeships through molar staining labor. Your fingertips trace a rib engraved with lily motifs, beauty carved through brutality. Instagram influencers squabble in trending comments. #Perfume is cancelled versus, but their vanilla notes cured my anxiety. Midnight finds you scrubbing peppercorn residue off molars, 34B each abrasion, releasing ghosts of cardamom and exploitation. The reconstruction artist beside you mumbles. They're giving them Troy's jawlines. Should we suggest more sunken cheeks? Her stylus hovers. Digital skin tones toggle between oppression pallor and exported malnutrition. A museum curator video calls during your coffee spit take. We need an ethical display, something smell-based, but not triggering. You suggest diffusing recreated perfumes while screening worker holograms. She counters with scratch and sniff tomb frescoes. The compromise reeks of lavender and liberal guilt. Crowd-funded reparations hit bureaucratic quicksand. One perfume CEO proposes conscience vouchers redeemable for free samples. Archaeologists retaliate by burying a time capsule candle TM at the dig site. Its citrus-scented wax encasing worker DNA profiles and union brochures. You peel a fig at lunch, its flesh mirroring the quid's fibrous texture. Dental hygienists DM you how'd Bronze Age gums handle peppercorn grit before pivoting to floss ads. The dig photographer snaps your dust-caked hands, later tagging it unfiltered exploitation. A child's skeleton emerges, tiny wrists encircled by obsidian beads too costly for any slave. Debate erupts. Was this proof of upward mobility or morbid decoration like gilded bird cages? X-rays reveal lung fibrosis from incense fumes. A career's worth of sacred smoke fossilized between ribs. Packing up tools, you find peppercorn fragments in your boot tread. The sea wind carries reconstructed myrrh from a nearby gift shop, its sweetness clashing with rust-colored soil. Somewhere, an ancient perfume jar slowly exudes justice, 1 drop per century. Your gloves brush against a kuras, statue's thigh. Its limestone pores exhale thymol's medicinal bite. A sports physiologist elbows in her lab coat embroidered with Nike in linear B. Time derivatives dilated their pupils, better peripheral vision for catching bulls by the horns. She says, smearing bull leaper fresco residue on a nicotine patch. The reconstruction hits like pre-workout powder, crushed wild oregano, fermented capers, and SOMETHING, Chinese letter, would classify. Modern archers tested in VR bull rings, their headset straps soaked in Bronze Age swagger. One deflects a charging holograph with a cartwheel even Simone Biles side eyes. 12% accuracy boost in double-blind trials. The physiologist whispers, as if Mycenaean spies lurk behind the protein shake fridge. You glance at the safety waiver. Side effects include visions of Minotaur tax audits and sudden fluency in dead dialects. Historians still argue whether the cologne sharpened reflexes or just smelled so terrible it kept bulls at bay. Your nostrils flare at a recreated batch. It's all mountain rain and adrenal sweat with bass notes of temple incense. TikTok athletes dilated into Minoan air trademark. Inhalers sold next to Sparta-themed resistance bands. Lab techs heat volcanic sulfur with iris root, the original recipes. Stone gland, musk substitute. Your phone buzzes with a collaborator's DM. Added lion's mane extract for cognitive boost. Don't tell the ethics committee. A Paralympic fencer tests the cologne mid-match, her épée, suddenly tracing Cretan spiral patterns. Judges freeze the bout, debating whether Bronze Age aroma-enhanced Perries violate, spirit of the sport clauses. The live stream chat erupts. Let them sniff chaos. Night falls on the deserted lab. Your UV light reveals ancient thumbprints glowing across a bull's hide flask. Somewhere, a janitor accidentally mops up spilled prototype. His breakdance moves suddenly worthy of Knossos. West Wing. The sea wind carries diluted time through your window, each molecule a ghostly spotter for leaps no modern spine should attempt. Your caffeine app blinks. Hydrate instead. As bull leaper frescoes ripple under screen light, their acrobatics looking suspiciously optimized. Dawn leaks through lab blinds as custodial staff whisper about the janitor's new Bronze Age swagger. His mop clatters, the smell of lion's mane, and time hangs thick where disinfectant should bite. 5 floors up, a Tokyo perfumer accidentally melts volcanic sulfur into iris tincture, igniting the Musk Paradox civilizations couldn't solve. You inhale the Tokyo sample, an animalic punch, without a single deer gland involved. Mainstream historians insist Musk required Mesopotamian trade routes, but linear B tablets lack stag references. Instead, phrases like stone sweat and fire root breath recur beside goddess figurines. Lab tech's X-ray, a Minoan crucible, its walls crusted with sulfur isotopes, matching Santorini's magma chambers. Someone mutters about replicas tasting like burnt hair and temple offerings. Then promptly wins a James Beard Award for olfactory gastronomy. The Tokyo accident goes viral. TikTok alchemists ferment iris roots in old sneakers trying to catch the Musk miracle. One teen's basement experiment accidentally replicates Minoan notes. His mom texts, "Clean your room or I'm canceling your ancient resin subscription." Scholars still debate whether stone gland was chemistry or divine intervention. Carbon-dated workshop tools show precision grinding marks, volcanic pumice carved into gland-like molds. Modern perfumers jury-rig coffee grinders to pulverize sulfur, until a Home Depot manager files a strange purchases report. You skim patents filed by Cretan archaeology teams. Every synthetic musk sale funnels royalties into UNE, a RTHING, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter workshops. A Mykonos club DJ leaks unreleased tracks mixed with reconstructed scent dance floors, report phantom bull sightings and sudden cravings for honeyed figs. Pharmaceutical giants pounce. Musky nose sprays promise Bronze Age focus. Clinical trials show placebo groups outperforming medicated ones, until someone adds thyme extract. Stock traders microdose via obsidian inhalers. Bloomberg terminals reek of sanctified caverns and desperate speculation. Reenactors at Knossos dunk sulfur chunks into terracotta fermenters. Their Instagram captions roasting dear purists. Comments erupt. Muskgate is the new pumpkin spice. Archaeobotanists counter, posting pollen scans of iris cultivars extinct Since Thera blew her top, your airbimp host retrofits a sauna with authentic Minoan aromatherapy. It's just eucalyptus and wet dog 3000 TM. You retreat to the lab, where the janitor's now teaching Cretan breakdance moves between shifts. His mop traces labyrinth patterns in prototype musk puddles, each swirl echoing fermentation, vats from 30 centuries prior. Night falls with a shipment of Sardinian iris roots, their violet-tinged cores, exact matches to residues in stone gland flasks. As you crush one, a Tokyo CEO video calls mid-negotiation. Her translator blushes at the musk cloud blooming through the screen. Somewhere, a deer herd grazes untouched, their glands spared by Bronze Age ingenuity. And one Perfumer's happy accident. The janitor's radio crackles with ribatico songs. Sour as strings sink to your pipette rhythms. A drop of reconstructed musk hits limestone, releasing vapor rings that hover like miniature Phoenician ships. Your caffeine app short circuits flashing. Hydrate with dew from Mount Ida instead. Before dissolving into linear B error codes, moonlight pools around your trembling hands. Linear B glyphs swim across the caffeine app's corpse. The lab's EEG machine hums awake on its own, its electrodes snake toward the musk-smeared limestone. You barely dodge the sticky tentacles, catching a glimpse of theta waves spiking in perfect sync with Knossos fresco patterns. Custodial laughter echoes down the hall. The breakdancing janitor moonwalks past, dragging a mop soaked in Sardinian iris tincture. His radio blares a remixed harvest chant, the bass line thumping against vials of reconstructed bull leaper cologne. You pocket a petri dish of fig oil residue, 3,000 years of potential memory triggers, condensed into amber goo. Mainstream journals finally acknowledge Minoan fig rituals. Carbonized seeds from Crete prove they boiled fruit into trance-inducing unguents. But nobody mentions the lab intern who accidentally mainlined a syringe full and spent 6 hours reciting linear a shopping lists in Aramaic. His TikTok apology video trends under #Bronze Age breakdown. A grad student slides you thermal scans of volunteers' brains, olfactory bulbs lighting up like festival torches when exposed to fermented crocus oils. One subject's hippocampus fires in dactylic hexameter, ancient poetry, epileptic seizure. The thesis committee votes both and orders more ouzo. Quirky detail alert: Cretan parents whisper that babies sneeze thrice when sensing Bronze Age smells. Last week, a NICU cam caught newborns reaching for phantom libation bowls during a scent trial glitch. Nurses now play lullabies on 3D printed Minoan panpipes, but strictly forbid dabbing ceremonial oils on pacifiers. You drop fig oil onto a volunteer's tongue. Her pupils dilate into labyrinth spirals. EEG paper spills onto the floor, brainwaves, etching symbols that match linear attacks records. That's my grocery list, she slurs, then describes a marketplace that sank beneath Santorini's waves. Historians still argue whether scent memories are inherited or just really good improv. The janitor's mop water mingles with prototype oils, creating a twitchy puddle that mimics moon-fed distillation cycles. Security cameras capture it, crawling toward the storm drain, following terracotta pipe roots buried since 1600 BCE. Facilities manager tapes a Bronze Age plumbing "Do not flush" sign above the toilet, then joins the janitor's crumping circle. Your phone buzzes with Mycenaean meme spam, warrior cats demanding tribute in retweeted linear B decrees. Elon Minoan, 69's latest post. A Cybertruck rendered as a bull-leaping fresco, captioned, "Funding secured to recreate Atlantis Uber pool." You flick fig oil at the screen. The Tesla logo morphs into a double axe, and your Lyft rating plummets. Dawn leaks through again, revealing EEG paper strips plastered to every surface like modern curse tablets. The lead researcher stumbles in clutching matching wrist tattoos, his skin inked with perfume chromatographs that pulse to Crete FM's playlist. "The smells, they're rewriting us," he mumbles, before passing out in a time-scented cube chair. You find your own notes from yesterday. The handwriting's shifted to spiral script. Margins bloom with doodles of dolphin-operated stills, and a shopping list for volcanic sulfur snacks. Somewhere, an entire deer herd sneezes in unison, their glands throbbing with inexplicable FOMO. The Musk Paradox lives, and it's wearing Crocs in a lab that smells like Destiny's armpit as reconstructed hyacinth oil diffuses through the vents. Every fire alarm sings in Phrygian mode. The janitor bows, his mop handle now a sacred labrys, and whispers what might be a linear lyric or takeout instructions. Your coffee mug transmutes terracotta, its contents fermenting into something both ancient and embarrassingly viral. Your boots crunch across Syrian soil that hasn't felt blossoms since Nebuchadnezzar's gardens wilted, each step stirring dust, flecked with cloned Minoan pollen. Syrian refugees kneel ahead, their calloused hands pressing obsidian capsules into earth, cracked like forgotten pottery. Inside each capsule, seeds grafted with Cretan hyacinth DNA and drenched in reconstructed bull lever perfume oils. "Watch the roots dance," murmurs Amal, a botanist who fled Aleppo with lemon cuttings in her bra. She shows you time-lapse footage on a solar-charged tablet, genome-edited vines spiraling clockwise like Knossos fresco patterns. The sprouts emit ultrasonic clicks, a biohacked trait borrowed from Minoan, singing lilies, mentioned in linear B-tax records. FEMA now funds these drought-defying gardens, though nobody explains why their grant agreements smell like 3,600-year-old fig resin. Climate engineers hover nearby, their drones dropping scent packets that mimic Bronze Age microclimates. One bursts prematurely, releasing a bergamot ash mist that makes everyone recite fragments of the Odyssey. Historians still argue whether ancient aromas alter behavior or just expose how badly we crave heroic narratives in collapse. Amal winks. She's spiked the mist with a pheromone that makes bureaucrats approve reforestation, permits 43% faster. Across the Dust Bowl, children roll terracotta marbles infused with extinct Cretan nematodes. The clay cracks underfoot, releasing microscopic worms that aerate soil while secreting allergen-neutralizing enzymes. It's based on Minoan pest control tablets, though the WHO frets about aroma-driven symbiosis, breeding sentient earthworms. TikTok ecologists dare each other to lick the marbles, their viral videos soundtracked by remixed harvesting hymns. Turin's climate summit feels light years away, but its hologram projectors now bathe Bedouin tents in simulated Saharan orchards. Delegates inhale through obsidian inhalers, getting whiffs of phantom oases that vanished when Carthage fell. A Zambian minister giggles uncontrollably. She's evidently inhaled the entheogenic myrtle blend meant for Swiss bankers. The scent recipes derive from Minoan trader logs, though carbon dating suggests scribes occasionally substituted saffron for cheaper horseradish. Back in the field, Amal presses a vial to your palm. Inside swirls a nectar that glows like Santorini's pre-eruption sunset. Liquid mycorrhizal networks, she grins. The prototype, Perfume, bonds plant roots across miles, creating underground nutrient highways that bypass salted aquifers. Downside: camels get aggressively affectionate toward baobab trees after accidental exposure. At dusk, the refugees unroll prayer, mats woven with Mycenaean flax DNA. Each fiber secretes melatonin-boosting oils as stars emerge, helping infants sleep through sandstorms that once triggered ancestral panic. NASA consultants take notes, while a 6-year-old sketches a rocket powered by fermented lotus fumes. The summit's grand finale fizzles. A holographic Sahara rainforest glitches into a giant download bar. Elon Minoan 69's hacked avatar appears, hawking NFT cedars that live in Elon Musk AI's dream state. Security tackles him as the scent system malfunctions, flooding the hall with pheromones that make diplomats rub cheeks like territorial voles. You find Amal later, her hair coiled, with bioluminescent ivy cloned from Minoan grave bulbs. She's debugging a drone striated with linear A glyphs. Its propellers dip into clay jars of resuscitated plankton serum. They thought we'd beg for water, she whispers, her fingers trailing a mist that greens dead soil with every pass. Lightning cracks over the summit's corpse. Its melted hologram projectors still ooze synthetic narcissus oil. A janitor, maybe your breakdancing lab ally, sweeps aromatic slush into urns shaped like minotaur horns. Somewhere beneath Geneva, Swiss vaults fill with counterfeit obsidian lockets, preserving this moment. The Aegean's ghost breath carries a half-formed punchline about capitalism, and compost, lost in a sandstorm, scented with answers we're still learning to breathe. The VR headset seals over your eyes like a beeswax stopper, replacing Syrian dust storms with the cool gloom of a reconstructed Minoan workshop. 86,000 pottery shards spin around you, each fragment's curve mapped by AIs trained on linear B shipping manifests. Teshabaidu's virtual hands materialize, translucent fingers crushing dried crocus stigmas into a crescent-shaped mortar. You reach for saffron threads. Your real-world arm jerks involuntarily toward a non-existent table. EEG caps on 12 test subjects flicker, alpha waves spiking when the AI ghost adjusts their grip on obsidian stirring rods. Lab notes mention anamnesis episodes, participants humming melodies later matched to 3rd century BCE Cretan lullabies. A startup founder in Palo Alto swears he crafted perfect champaka accord while sleepwalking. His Fitbit recorded Bronze Age Cretan harvest chants in his REM cycles. The simulation glitches. Teshabaidu's face blurs into a Mycenaean soldier mid-swipe. Archaeologists programmed this deliberately, using siege accounts to stress test perfume preservation tactics. You catch whiffs of rancid goat fat. The system's attempt to simulate looted oil stores. Someone's ChatGPT plugin jokes about blockchain resin authentication, an anachronism that makes the holographic olive press spit out pixelated NFTs. Historical footnote. This VR model uses the only Minoan perfume formula ever found intact, a charred tablet from Crete, preserving lilac and sea salt directives. Quirky addendum. Testers report phantom lavender scents. Spectrometers detect nothing. 1. Participants' tears during scent playback contained trace enzymes found in Bronze Age morning balms. Peer review pending. You adjust the haptic gloves, their pressure sensors calibrated from fingerprints in Thera's volcanic ash. The AI guide demonstrates 6 ways to layer bergamot over roasted almonds, movements reverse engineered from pottery wheel grooves. A pop-up warns 28% of users develop cravings for Cypriot apricots post-session. Across the lab, a biohacker injects herself with synthesized memory enzymes mid-simulation. Her shriek, when virtual bull horns graze her neck, briefly crashes the servers. Historians still argue whether these apparitions reflect ancestral memory, or if we're just taste testing the AI's hallucinations. You remove the headset, the real world smells sterile, until a lab tech passes with beeswax samples for 3 heartbeats. Your left palm tingles where Teshabaidu's ghost gripped it through millennia. The project lead mutters about olfactory pareidolia. But you notice her pocket shrine to Ariadne, complete with QR code for votive crypto donations. As reactors hum, the ghost perfumer's last concoction materializes in your nasal receptors, stardust, and fermented figs. It fades with the staff's laughter at Elon Minoan, 69's latest tweet. Patreon tier, unlocked smell like minus divorce proceedings. Outside, night air carries diesel and cloned hyacinths, somewhere between code and corpse wax. A dead perfumer's shrugged punchline lingers, unbottled. Your boots sink into ash-flecked sand, where the 1628 BCE tsunami kissed Paros Island, each step syncopated with the vial's weight in your palm. The reconstructed oil swirls, star anise shimmers, trapped in obsidian, dark as Queen Te's funeral resins. Archaeologists confirmed her 18th dynasty perfumes contained Minoan bergamot, proof of Bronze Age trade. Roots your grad school loans funded. Lab notes flutter, a post-it warns. Don't mention the Mycenaean spy thing. Beneath a doodle of Minos doing keto, you kneel where LDAR detected a perfect foot-shaped depression. King Minos, mythical tread, or clever erosion. Rain starts, not water, but paparazzi drones misting saline for better conductivity. Their lenses catch your trembling pore. Thick gold liquid cascades into the indentation without spilling. A lab-coated mystic whispers Akkadian numbers, her Fitbit flashing ancient meditator achievement badges. The scent hits before the liquid settles. Your sinuses flood with fossilized plankton and something like smoked jasmine. Historians still argue whether ritual oils were offerings to gods or early chemists. Covert R&D, your eyes water, tears leave salt circles matching Phaistos disc spirals. A reconstructed Mycenaean lyre plays low, its strings tuned to frequencies that shatter modern polymer vials. Footprints glow bioluminescent blue, genome-edited bacteria reacting to oil enzymes. They pulse slower, until sand swallows the last droplet. Someone's Airbnb guests clap their influencer necklaces, capturing AR overlays of bull-leaping holograms. You pocket a pebble. Its geothermal warmth mirrors souvenir kuras, statues sold outside Knossos. The Aegean exhales, your nostrils sting with sudden emptiness. A grad student offers Peasy dispenser communion wafers infused with revived Minoan Saccharomyces. The first taste, fermented quince and regret. On the ferry back, your tongue finds a saffron thread between molars, harvested from those Fibonacci fields you hallucinated in Section 7. Waves etch patterns only ancient perfume jar seals could replicate. A startup's submersible blinks below, illegally sampling seabed resins. Their livestream title, Scent DAOs and aquatic IPOs, smell the venture capital. You lean overboard, palms skimming foam that reeks of chlorinated rebreathers and something older. Your hotel keycard sticks, its magnetic strip degraded by Santorini's residual magnetism from the Thera eruption. Elevator music morphs into reconstructed crocus-picking hymns. The night manager swears it's a glitch. Floor 22's corridor stretches like a labyrinth, motion-activated sconces, sputtering iris-scented sanitizer. Sleep comes with dream-scented ads, TikTokers auctioning Ariadne's divorce oil. In Danefluence, the past challenges. Dawn finds you barefoot on the balcony, squinting at cargo ships, hauling cloned frankincense saplings. One container's logo winks, a dolphin pod encircling blockchain addresses. The cleanup crew texts, bacteria colonies expired at sunrise, their glow fading with your social media mentions. You bury the empty vial behind a rental scooter, its obsidian leaching into soil that once anchored Minoan lilacs. A child's laughter rises, her soap bubbles bursting with crispered hyacinth musk. Airport scanners flag your passports, resin-smudged pages. Duty-free screens loop Teshabaidu deepfakes shilling, limited mortality cologne. Security confiscates your pebble, its weight lifted like API keys revoked. As engines roar, you exhale a breath held since Section 1's cliffside shrine. Somewhere over the Atlantic, tangled earbuds release reconstructed bull leaper chants. Flight attendants frown at your bare feet toes, still indented from ritual sands. Turbulence shakes, loose a lavender petal from your collar, desiccated before it lands. Home smells of airbnb detergent and indecision. A magnet from Crete's gift shop bleeds rust onto the fridge, its painted dolphin dissolving into static. You open tomorrow's calendar, a reminder blinks, return library books on Minoan tax law. 3 a.m. finds you Googling Dutch rooftop apiaries, their hives, tracking microplastics and imitating Knossos. Hexagonal cells, your neighbor's cat yowls, its new collar, oozing synthetic lotus oil from a startup that went defunct mid-series B when the first snow falls. You catch yourself licking flakes, hoping for petrified plankton aftertaste. None comes, just Bronx water treatment plants and whatever Uber Eats motorcycle spew. Downstairs, a teen's vape pen emits Minoan afterlife, fog, pine resin, and regulatory loopholes. Historians still argue whether that tsunami footprint, W, a S Chinese letter, Chinese letter, Chinese letter, CUPOR, Chinese letter, Chinese letter. You don't care anymore, pressing Play-Doh between textbooks to recreate linear A glyphs. It smells like preschool and lost causes. Spring migration brings warblers doped on scent-tagged mealworms, their flight paths tweeting ephemeral data. You mail the Cretan Pebbles photo to the Palo Alto lab. No return address. Their auto-reply cites GDPR and a prayer to Hephaestus. Tonight's moon mirrors the simulation's final glitch, Teshabaidu winking. As servers crashed, you light a candle, its wax blended from that failed desert reforestry project. The wick sputters, releasing fumes of apologies and asteroids. Somewhere, a vlogger films olive pits sprouting in Tesla battery acid. A child's science fair poster links dolphin sonar to SHOPIFY Chinese letter, Minoan hashtags trend beneath Super Bowl ads for encryption perfume. You open the window, distant highways roar like half-remembered tides. A moth flutters in wings dusted with pollen from engineered Cretaceous lilacs. It dies on your keyboard, compound eyes glazing over CTRL+. Z. The last notification pings a Kyoto perfumer's eulogy for his synthetic Musk project. Auto-translate butchers the haiku, but the attached file smells like stolen, hyphenated laughter. You press delete, and somewhere the Aegean sighs. Your boots sink into ash-flecked sand, each step heavy with the vial's weight. Reconstructed oil swirls inside dark as olden funeral resins. Star anise catching light like trapped fireflies. Rain falls, not water, but drones misting salt water. Your hands tremble as gold liquid pours into the earth's footprint, glowing bacteria, pulsing blue, then fading. The scent hits smoked jasmine and fossilized seas. Tears leave salt spirals on your cheeks, mirroring symbols from clay discs. A lyre's low hum vibrates the air, its notes crumbling polymer vials. Laughter erupts, influencers clap as holograms of bull leapers flicker. You pocket a warm pebble, its heat borrowed from deep earth fires. The ferry ride blurs, saffron threads cling to your teeth, bitter and sweet. Waves etch patterns only ancient hands could name. A startup's submersible blinks below its greed, masked as progress. Your hotel keycard fails. Elevator music warps into crocus harvest chants. The hallway stretches. Iris-scented mist stings your eyes. Sleep brings chaotic dreams, auctions for oils that rewrite history. Dawn finds you watching ships haul cloned trees, their hulls stamped with cryptic symbols. The empty vial hides under scooter tires, obsidian seeping into soil. A child blows soap bubbles, crispered musk bursting in the air. Airport scanners flash, resin stains mark your passport. Confiscated pebbles, lost data engines drown the Aegean's echo. Home reeks of detergent and doubt. A rusting dolphin magnet bleeds on the fridge. 3 a.m. You search rooftop, hives, their honeycombs, whispering of Knossos. Snowflakes melt on your tongue. No brine, just exhaust and longing. Spring birds carry tagged secrets southward. The pebble's photo vanishes into lab servers. No reply, only digital silence. Candle wax, fumes smell of stardust and regret. A moth lands, its wings dusted with engineered pollen, then dies mid-keystroke. The last notification pings, a Kyoto haiku smudged by translation. You delete it, the screen darkens. Wind carries highway noise, almost tidal, almost familiar. You breathe deep, inhaling lint and distant lilacs. Your eyes close, the world softens, fades. Just a whisper now, salt and star anise. The weight of a pebble that never was. The Aegean sighs, its secrets settling like sand in shoes. Sleep rises, gentle, insistent, carrying you beyond maps and museums. Rest. The past is done.